mean, when are you not?
Lazy bish.
Okay,
As you do.
we are live.
Okay. Well, welcome to. Well, still waiting on Jordan to pop in. Oh, yeah, he's in. Okay. All right. There was something I wanted to do. Oh, yeah. So just in case anybody is actually finding this stream, I figured I'd kind of like just um do like a little not not a retcon so much as kind of like just a little housekeeping, and just mention that the symbol that I chose for the Boromar clan, because I couldn't find one that apparently was out there. The one I actually chose apparently is from Warhammer, so I screwed up. It's not that important. It's just bugging me, so I figured I'd just go over and mention it. But anyway, to recap. So last time our story kicked off as so many of them do, with you meeting in a bar. Through a variety of circumstances, each of you has found yourselves down on your luck in the city of Sharn. A posted notice with promises of quick coin catches your attention, and you join a host of others gathered at the Drunken Dragon Tavern. The gathered masses are addressed by a human woman named Kali Alrin, who tells you about the potential riches to be found in scavenging the wastes of the Mournland. The scavenger crews operating out of Salvation Outpost are looking to replace a recently lost crew and are auditioning potential adventurers such as yourselves to take their place. Callie provides anyone interested with a ticket, ordering them to appear at a warehouse in a seedy district of the city at midnight the following evening. You arrive at the designated location shortly before midnight and discover that that of the gathering the previous evening, only about 15 have shown up for the audition. Callie arrives and selects 5 of the gathered people and enters through a door to the warehouse. After a few minutes, she returns and selects another 5, retreating back into the warehouse. A few more minutes pass, and she leads the last group of 5, all of you, into the warehouse. Inside, you find a large, darkened chamber lit only by a dimly glowing, ever-bright lantern and a smear of blood across the floor. Callie leaves you, and you are then ambushed by a large group of thugs who attempt to kick your collective asses. Though you do not know your companions, nor their capabilities, you nonetheless set to working like a well-oiled machine, and your opponents are quickly dispatched. Callie returns, applauding your success, and hands you a large sack of coin. She tells you to purchase passage on the lightning rail heading out toward Vatharon to the east, where you are to continue on toward Salvation Outpost. She says to be there no later than the following weekend, lest your spots with the scavengers be forfeited. And with that, she departs, leaving you to your own devices. So, and that's where we left. So, you guys can go off and decide to kind of chit chat, what do you want to do?
Are we still in the room?
You're still in the warehouse, yes.
Okay.
Did we have we introduced ourselves or?
Not as such. And actually, I'm gonna say that as Callie takes her leave, and you kind of look around the warehouse, you notice that where your opponents have fallen, you kind of turn and you watch as the last of them fades away, like just kind of evaporates. That these were not real. They were kind of like a construct or illusion, but they hit hard enough. Kind of imagine kind of like a holodeck situation.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Okay. Now, we'll remind you that you're in a warehouse in a bad part of the neighborhood. So, depending on whether or not you want to go over and continue your chat here or move to safer locales, that is entirely up to you. But the room is yours.
I'll
Well,
turn
I
to
didn't.
Go ahead.
No, absolutely. You go first.
I was going to say I will turn to the rest of the party and say, do you think maybe we should reconvene at the tavern and kind of look around
Ooh.
and see that this is not a great environment?
That sounds great, actually.
I will reload my revolver and cast healing hands on myself for now, by sort of like brushing the dirt off my hand or shoulders, and I'll say like, I'm not really sure what happened here, and I'm less sure who all of you are, but seeing as this seems to be what we're going to have for a team, we may as well.
We need to go purchase new armor with the bag of gold we got.
Isn't the bag of gold specifically for tickets?
It's to outfit the party with new gear and tickets, and there's only enough gold to do that.
Oh, didn't someone say they could get us a discount?
I'll raise my hand. That would be me.
Cool.
Hello, Killian Dorian.
Well, the problem is that the bag didn't have a specific amount of gold in it. Just all we know is that there is enough, only enough to buy new gear and stuff.
Actually, it was never specified that it was for gear. It was just for passage.
I think you're lying, but okay.
I am God. I do not lie.
That's a lie.
You are Abraham Lincoln, you do not lie.
That was George Washington.
George Washington.
I cannot tell a lie. The cherry tree. Abraham Lincoln, freed the slaves, got shot in the back of the head
Right,
with a
but
theater.
okay, maybe they were. Anyway.
Or they just called him Honest Abe. That's
They
what it
did.
was.
They did.
Honest Abe, that's what it was. That's what I'm thinking of. Anyway.
All right, so you're planning to reconvene at the Drunken Dragon?
Sounds good to me. I want to get out of here.
Reconvene when we've drunk.
Okay, so so you're leaving the warehouse, and it's now probably pushing 1 a.m. And the less savory inhabitants of this area are kind of working about, but you keep your weapons in sight and very quickly make your way out of the area, and fortunately are not intervened with, and you make your way back to the Drunken Tavern. The Yeah, I forget what the hell his name was. The bartender does go over and tell you that he will be closing in the next hour, but he's happy to go over and provide you with a drink for a couple of copper. So he gives you some, for a couple of copper, he'll give you like a mug of not the best ale, but it's enough to have a drink, to sit around a table and get to know each other.
I suppose you can see it on our faces that we just went through it.
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, I mean,
a few cuts and scrapes. Well, except for Melody, because she's gone over and she's touched herself. And
why do you have to phrase it like that? I would have said Donnie died or nearly did. He'd probably look the worst out of us.
My head hurts.
yeah.
Astrid is
That's
the one
okay,
that's
Donnie.
actually injured the most. So,
I guess because Donnie did get healed.
yeah.
Let me take a look.
Oh yeah, she's bloodied. She's half.
Oh, I see. My max HP is 12.
Yeah.
So in
We don't
Eberron,
really-
are Dragonborn fairly common, or are they kind of more uncommon?
I mean, they're probably not. They're common enough that people have probably heard of them, or they may be making more of a presence now that the war is over. Primarily, they would. You'd be more likely to run into tribes of them in Kubara, And definitely, like, on the continent of Arganessen, with the dragons and everything, where that would make sense.
I forgot that was a continent.
I believe there's also a potentially some large groups of them in Zendrik. But yeah, they are in Corvia, but primarily, mostly going to be found in Kuvara.
Okay.
But they've been kind of like kind of working west, and especially the ones like Astrid herself that kind of have that wanderlust kind of thing going on, where they are more prone to travel. So
Then I will point out that it is uncommon to see a dragonborn in the middle of Sharn. What brings you here?
Well, I recognize that I didn't speak practically to anyone last time we were here. To be honest, I'm searching for a new purpose a little bit, I would say. The war is over, and not to put too fine a point on it, I'm a little down on my luck, as most of us are. Nothing shameful about it, it's just hard when you feel like you have nothing to do.
Do you mind if I ask what your previous purpose was?
Murder.
What'd you say, Melody?
Murder.
Murder! um...
I mean, it could have been, for all I know.
Actually, that's a fantastic question. I'm not looking at my sheet at the moment. DM, what did we establish my position in the army was?
you were a scout.
A scout, thank you. My purpose was keeping my unit safe, and I took great pride in that. But my unit is gone now. We're split up across the lands.
I'm gonna press in on the comment about the unit and ask, did you fight in the army? What side did you fight for?
Oh, DM, more questions that you get to answer.
Well, so as I recall, when I was working with Astrid on kind of settling her stuff, she herself is actually from Kubara. And she was a scout for the army units in that area, kind of infiltrating into Talenta Plains and somewhat into Valinor. They side. I mean, everybody was pretty much at each other's throats, so I don't know that there was any particular side, but I think mostly she probably was working on, protecting her homeland from incursions from like Pernathi, Thrain, Dargoon, anything that's kind of in the surrounding areas right there. I don't know that we specifically pinpointed anything specific, but mostly that she was a scout in, her homeland's army. And that's all I got for you.
No, you're fine. You're perfect. In the simplest terms, I joined the army with a sense of duty, and I felt like I found my calling.
Just so that I can keep things straight in my head, it was Sire, or Seer, Karnath, and Thrain that were aligned? And then Ondair and Bara and Valinar?
To be perfectly honest, I don't remember exactly because I know from some of the stuff that I remember reading, Alliance had shifted
Okay.
constantly. Like so sometimes, Breland
It's like the
might
real world.
be out. Yeah, so like one time, like Breland might be allied with Ondir at this point, but then something happened and suddenly they're now no longer allied with Ondir, but they might be allied with Thrain
Okay.
or with Zelargo. They constantly shifted. I mean, it was 100 years of war. So, keeping things straight was not hugely, smooth. But with Astrid, because I forget how old Astrid was. I think she was like
Did we say?
30 something. I think she was
Yeah,
like,
we said in our 30s.
yeah, it's like
Let me
kind of
look
like
at
mid
that.
30s, like 35, 36, somewhere in that
36.
ballpark.
36.
So she would have only fought in probably be the last maybe 4 or 5 years. Well, no, maybe more than that. She might have been in the army for like maybe the last 10, 12 years of the war. If that. So she probably would have, like I said, would have been working maybe a little bit more closer to home. Oh, okay. So yeah, so I'm gonna say we're not gonna worry about too much about who they were allied with at that particular point, but there's stuff to her story that she can reveal when she's ready, whatever. Not to step on Astrid's tail. So continue.
I'll turn my attention to the next person. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. I see Donnie. And what's your story?
I walked here.
Jeez.
What a story.
From?
From outside.
And where are you originally from?
I think here.
You think? You don't know?
I'm not certain.
I'm actually going to take a second and just almost invasively look at Donnie's face to make sure he didn't get hit in the head.
He's just grinning, wide-eyed.
Okay.
His eyes are just kind of moving about the room.
I'll sort of lean over to Astrid and be like, I don't think he's hurt. I think he's just like that.
Can I make an
I'm gonna
insight check
nod.
to see if he's like actually believes this or if he's just putting us on?
You can make the insight and yeah, I guess versus whichever
What
one
would that even be?
would probably be. Well, it depends on how.
Donnie's intelligence.
Well, it normally would be kind of versus either his persuasion or deception, his choice. But depending on how much he wants to keep that hidden, he may want to do that privately, in which case I should probably throw the tower back up there. Where the hell is it? Rules.
Well, what you could do is say that he's successful and then give it over to me to let him know what he needs to know. He's just checking to see if I'm lying, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of, yeah.
Okay. So would you consider 14 a success?
Well, so it would depend. So the insight would be against a score that you would have rolled.
Okay, so
All right.
I should roll in.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go over it, and depending on whether or not you want to be persuading or deceiving. Oh, here it is.
And
Okay,
then you
well,
would
I
add
don't
your
mind.
charisma
I don't
and
mind.
whatever proficiency bonus.
Charisma? Oh, let's see. My charisma is +3.
Right, so 16. So, yeah, so depending on what kind of impression are you trying to give Killian?
I think he's still confused. He can't tell.
Okay.
He can't tell what kind of impression I'm trying to make. Whether I'm being deceptive or not.
Yeah.
Can't tell.
Yeah, so for the most part, it's like, Killian, you kind of get the sense that he may be confused, though you're not entirely sure why. Whether or not it was something with the recent combat that may have jogged his head a little bit, or if there's a deeper thing at play. But for the moment, you are taking him at his word.
Okay. And then I'll just kind of nod and turn my attention towards who's next, Melody, and ask, so, and what is your story?
How shall I put this?
Do you
How do I
look
put this
human
actually?
or do you look other?
ASMR are described as basically looking human.
Okay.
They're described as actually blending into with human culture just to kind of not be bothered, essentially. How familiar are you with the occult?
Like me personally or in game?
Just like in game.
Oh,
In
I would say
a
probably not
general
much.
sense. Not much.
Killian is
Right.
not overly religious and has no real training in religion.
Right. So I don't really know much about the war that happened here. What I do know is a certain cult group took advantage of it in order to sort of enact plans. We'll just say that. And despite pushback, managed to succeed. So I am a fair bit weaker than I would like. So my goal is sort of to regain the powers that I once had and restore what they took away, and hopefully to avoid any corruption in the process. And I'll sort of like nudge my mug of ale slightly away from me as I say that.
That's a noble goal. I myself am from House Dorian. I'm looking for a way to better my standing within the house, so feats of renown, like finding wondrous items in the Mournland or defeating great threats, could definitely do that. I'll take a big sip of my ale. And I don't know anything about Charon, so I'm not going to roleplay her.
Yeah, we'll just pass over that for now.
We know that she's appears as a Kalistar, I believe.
Yeah, she's a
She's
Kalistar.
got a symbol of the silver flame on her chest plate, her breastplate.
Yeah, and you just kind of like she just sits at the on the side of the table, just drinking her ale, just kind of like looking and listening, and there's a she, there's a certain quality to her, like that she. Oh God, I don't want to say this. She's just kind of like more observing at this moment. Like she's not quite ready to share.
Okay.
But yeah. So so you kind of have this little chit chat. I'm assuming at some point you would probably take a look and see what's in the satchel that you were given.
Sure. Who
Okay.
has the satchel? Was it Melody?
Melody did.
Did I? Oh, yeah, I did. So, I guess we're just seeing what's inside it.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So you
It's
flip open,
cookies.
you flip open the flap of the satchel, and inside is not gold as you first suspected, but instead a large amount of platinum points.
Oh.
A grand total of about 200, all totaled. And yeah, that's considerably more money than any of you have seen, probably ever, let alone held it in your own hands. So, and actually, I'm going to say that Killian, being an of the Orient House, you kind of do some like quick calculations in your head, and you're realizing that the amount that's in the satchel is fairly close to being just enough to purchase 5 standard fare tickets on the Lightning Rail to Vatharond.
And I will relay that information.
Well, suppose there's no reason to delay.
So, and I will also go over and mention that, again, Killian, you would know that the general travel time from Sharn to that part of Breland is approximately 1,800 miles, or a journey of about 2.5 days, and coupling the time. What was I going to say? Oh, with the instruction that you were given by Kelly, that it would be you would travel to Vathrun, and then it would be like a half day's journey to Salvation Outpost. It would be about 3 days. So, in order to reach Salvation by the next weekend, you would have to leave no later than where the 18th.
Sorry, where a month?
No, where the 18th. So it's the day, WIR. We're the 18th of Nim, which is the month that we're in right now,
Okay.
and therefore you would end up arriving by, I think it's Sar. It's the fun is Sar would get you into Salvation, which would be the 21st of the month. So you could leave either the day before Weir, which is Zal, or you can leave right on Weir, but you want to leave no later than Weir.
Okay. I would think that leaving sooner rather than later would be a better course of action, but
Probably.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna look around the room anyway and ask if anybody has some business that they'd like to take care of before we go, or if they still want to go.
We need to go, Donnie says.
I think We should focus on maybe finding a way to cover up the scrapes and gashes in our arms before we head out. But we can do that on the way.
We need to go, Donnie says again.
I'll turn my attention to Charon and say, well, I think that you might be able to help with that. Between that and a good night's rest, it should handle most of it.
I think she. I think Ben already used his spells, didn't he? Because he had to use one to rescue Donnie.
There's one remaining for the moment.
Oh, I see. I think just a short rest might be good enough.
Okay, I'm down with that.
We're not massive. We don't have enough health that I think warrants
Well, I mean,
more than that.
when would the next lightning rail headed in the direction that we need to go be leaving?
It probably would not be leaving until early the following morning. So probably about like 6 a.m.
Oh, so we've got time for a long rest. Well, what do we need to do right now?
I
Well-
mean, we've got 5
Well,
hours.
it's-
It's 1
it's
in the
like-
morning.
3 in the morning, isn't it?
That's right.
Yeah, it's about, well, it's you've been kind of chatting for a little bit, so it's actually kind of pushing towards, because you arrived at the tavern at about 1 a.m.
Mm.
And with the chatting and everything, you're probably starting to get a little bit closer to maybe like 1:30, quarter to 2. And by 2 o'clock, the tavern owner is going to go over and kick you out.
I need to look up something.
Is there anything in the inn, like a yellow pages or something, where we have this information, or is it just common knowledge?
I would know. Lightning
Okay.
rail schedules.
Okay.
Yeah, so I would probably say it's like, the next train leaving for, departing from Sharn is going to be leaving at about 6 a.m. So if you leave the tavern at 2, you have like 4 hours to kind of kill. So you're not really going to have like a long rest. But again, it's going to take a couple of days to kind of get out to where you need to go. So.
Okay. Well, I have nothing else going on.
He's single and ready to mingle.
Okay, so what do you want to do? You kind of like, departing to wherever you guys would hole up for the night, or you just gonna kind of go down to the station and wait till 6?
I
Donnie is
will.
tired and his head hurts, so he just kind of finds a table, gets underneath it, and lays down on the floor to fall asleep.
I like to imagine he just says all of that out loud, not just you saying that out of character.
I also like that idea. That's what happened.
Like, Donnie's just like, Donnie is tired, must need sleep.
Oh man, I wish I made it. I guess I still could. Okay, Donnie refers to himself in third person always.
But he's got the Torbeck syndrome.
Torbeck. Oh.
I'm rolling my eyes so hard right now. I'm hurting myself.
Don't hurt yourself. Let us do it.
Oh.
That reminds me of this. I need to show you this. I think I've shown it to you, Jordan. This like clip on TikTok of some guy playing Baba Is You, and just having like a mental breakdown.
Yeah, he's playing with a girl, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen that one.
Okay. Well, Baba is sleeping under a table. I guess. Well, I guess we're just staying wherever Donnie lied down.
Well, the innkeeper's gonna kick us out.
It's also not an inn. It's a tavern.
Yeah, I was gonna
It's
ask
just
if
a
they
bar.
had rooms or something.
No, it's not that kind of place.
I'll just head straight to the station and wait.
Yeah, I mean, there's
I was
probably
kind
a
of-
lounge or something that, we could hang out in.
I'll nudge Donnie. Just be like, they're gonna kick us out, right?
That's the noise he makes.
In. Alright. I'm gonna walk outside, but then I'm just gonna like stay outside and sort of count on my fingers.
Well, if we're splitting up, who's holding the bag?
I've got the bag of money right now, and I'll be at the station in time. Don't worry. Because it's not gonna take but a few more seconds for Donnie to be thrown out the door.
Yeah, so actually, the halfling owner of the tavern comes out from behind the bar, wiping his hands on a rag, and he's like, "All right, lads, time to go. I gotta close up."
Carry me, mommy.
And don't call me mommy. Get out.
Okay, he doesn't get up, but he does start crawling towards the door. And once he's outside the door, he just stops and lays down on the ground.
Alright.
Astrid just sort of checks out as she's leaving his outfit situation to see if this is a normal pattern of behavior for him sleeping on the ground.
Sounds like a insight perception check.
Or just
I
a
guess
casual
if you
glance over
want
the
it to
shoulder.
be a check.
How about
Ow.
perception?
Yeah, I would probably say perception. Just to kind of like see if
How
You notice-
dirty is Johnny?
a dirty, dirty boy. Yeah, go ahead and do a perception.
Looking for it. There it is.
Okay. I would probably say just like, you're not sure if this would be something that would be quote unquote normal for Donnie, seeing as you just met him a few hours ago, or actually just a day ago. Actually, no, just a few hours ago, because you guys didn't meet at the first meeting.
Mhm.
But you do notice that he's got like a little bit of like blood kind of drying in his hair from being hit during your combat there, and you probably realize he's probably got maybe a minor concussion, and probably should not be allowed to sleep for a few hours.
Oh, fun.
Alright. Well, once he's outside, I guess I'll sort of just like pick him up over the shoulder and just start walking off, and I'll call out to the others, "Have fun at the station, I'm going to go get food."
Will
And then
do.
I guess I don't picture there's going to be any shops worth buying anything from this early on, so I'll just buy like a few, maybe like a few golds worth of rations or something.
Yeah, I'm gonna say this again. Probably, probably a little bit further down the street. There's like another bar, and even though it's close to closing time for most of the bars in this area, there's still like a couple of wheeled carts that sell like just street food, like like hot dogs or some sort of grilled meat on a stick or something like that. So you can go over and pick up some food. Not for traveling, so not like necessarily rations, but you could spend a couple of
Donuts.
silver, get a couple of spend a couple of silver or so to
Croissants.
get some
Croissant.
some basic food, and you can do that. So Donnie and Melody are going off together, and the rest of you are going down to the station, right?
Right.
Okay. All right. So you make your way down to wherever the station is, and I
Downtown.
don't have the time to go over and look it up, but we're just going to say that it's somewhere, and you'll get there, and that's fine. So you get to the station, and as luck would have it, it's like in anticipation of some early departures, the station window is still open, and there's a guy behind there just kind of like kind kind of like leaning back in his chair with his feet up on the desk behind the window, and he's got like a little cap that's kind of like tilted down just over his eyes, and it looks like he might be sleeping. And as you approach, Killian, go ahead and roll a perception check real quick.
Perception.
Yeah.
Skills. Once I find it, persuade. There it is. Perception. Yay. That's not bad.
Okay. Perfect. All right. So as you approach the window, even through the glass, you hear.
I
Guys
hear
snoring.
what?
We
You
heard
hear him
nothing.
snoring.
Okay, I couldn't hear you snoring, so.
All right. So I must have done something with my settings on Discord, because before I couldn't even go over and breathe without this thing picking it. But now I'm snoring right into the damn microphone, and it doesn't catch it.
I mean, I'm not mad at that.
Yeah. So you can hear him snoring, kind of lightly, as you are approaching the window, and you stand there for like a few seconds, and doesn't seem to notice you.
Have Melody and Donnie met back up with us? Because I don't want to disturb the guy if we don't have the money to get our tickets.
I would assume we have. If
Okay.
we're just like jumping straight to the
Oh yeah.
station.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. I was. Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah. No problem. Yeah. I would probably say that you get down there, and maybe about 10, 15 minutes later, Melody and Donnie show up and join up with you, and together you approach the window.
Okay. I will politely extend my hand to Melody and ask for the bag.
I'll go ahead and toss it up.
I was hoping you'd say you just shake his hand.
Shit. No. I am not Donnie.
So with the bag, I will then turn to the ticket. Is it a window, you said?
Yeah. So like what you would expect, like a ticket window. There's probably like a small hole in the glass, for speaking through, and then like a little arch at the bottom for passing tickets through.
Okay. I will very loudly clear my throat and look at the ticket box person so that they can clearly see the dragon mark on my face.
Uh-huh.
That would identify me as from House Orion.
So you said you cleared your throat?
Yes.
Okay. So the sound of you clearing your throat, he startles awake and actually loses his balance, and the chair tips over, spilling him on the floor. He scrambles to his feet, rights the chair, and he pushes back the cap, correctly on his head, and with a very red face, he turns to you and he says, "Yeah, sorry about that. How can I help you?"
We need 5 tickets to. Was it Vermore? No, Varithod?
Vatheron.
Vatheron.
Yeah.
It started with a V.
It's like, for the 5 of you?
Yes.
Would that be standard fare, first class, or will you be joining our steerage?
Standard fare will work.
Okay. For the 5 of you, okay? And he goes to kind of like like an adding machine, and and he starts totaling up. He said, "Well, it's like 5 for the travel to Vatheron. That comes to 360 gold pieces per person."
And does that include the house discount? And I'll flash a cunning smile at him.
So he looks up at you, and at that moment, that's when he notices. Because when he righted the chair and he kind of first spoke to you, his eyes were kind of like down. He wasn't looking directly at you because he was really embarrassed. But as soon as you go over and you mention about the house discount, he looks you directly in the face and takes in the shape of the dragon mark on the side of your face, and his eyes grow wide. He's like, "Oh, of course, sir. Let me see." And he does some additional figuring. He said, "Well," he said, "I think we can get that down to 300 per person. So for a total of, uh,
1,500.
yeah, 1,500. Yeah, I was like, I had it written down and I lost it. He says, yeah, so it would be 300 per person. So for 1,500, we can, take care of that.
The original price was 360.
380.
No, it's 360.
360.
I thought you said 380.
360.
Oh.
If I said 380, it was a mistake, but I'm pretty sure I said 360.
We'll have
I thought you
to
said
watch it back later.
316, but I definitely heard 6.
Okay. I'm trying to decide if I want to press the matter further, but I'm thinking no. So, I'll turn to everyone and look to see if they approve.
I just nod because it's not our money.
Donnie has just been grinning and looking around the whole time.
Okay. Now I'll look back at the ticket master and nod in agreement and pull out. You said that it was 200 platinum?
200 platinum. So
And a
It
platinum
was
is
200
10 gold?
platinum.
yeah, so it would be 150 platinum.
Yeah. Yes. So I'll start counting out the coins for him.
Oh god, it's like the person goes off and pays for things in pennies. So yeah, you go over and you count out the 100 platinum, and give it to him, and he slides 5, tickets through the little opening in the window. Said, "Thank you, sir. Have a safe trip. Track 12 will be your train, and it will be leaving at 6 a.m. Don't be late."
Very good. Give my regards to the station master.
Absolutely, sir. And who should I say is sending his best wishes?
Killian.
And he writes it down. Kill. And he's very good, sir. Have a good trip. Have a good trip.
Thank
So
you.
the bag of gold we got had 250 platinum in it.
It had 200,
100 platinum.
which means we've got 50 platinum pieces left.
So 10 each, essentially.
What was that, Lee?
10 each, essentially.
Oh, penny. I thought you said a penny. I'm like, what?
No.
So 10 platinum each. So
Yep.
50 platinum is left.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
so I mean, if you want to divvy that up, you can go over and take 10 platinum for each of you.
Okay. So I had already put money on my sheet from last session. So I need to fix that. I was at 28. And then I'll add it to Charon.
What, 28 platinum?
No, 28 gold from gambling.
Oh, okay. I thought we would all be around, like, relatively the same prices. I'm realizing I might be the richest of the group. I had 155 gold pieces at the start of this session.
You didn't do much shopping, did you?
Well, it's partly because rather than starting with an inventory, I started with gold. And then just bought from there pretty much only what I needed. And then I didn't buy anything extra. So I had like 120 gold.
Ah.
Went down to 80 somehow. And then I went back up to 155. And I don't entirely remember how.
I don't know. So, at this point, we've divvied up the money. I'll throw the bag back to Melody since she was holding on to
Right.
it. Do we have someone that wants to act as the treasurer or
I suppose I can act as the treasurer for like the money.
Johnny likes the shiny circles.
Okay, well,
Yeah,
I don't
no,
think I
I'd
trust
rather do
Donnie
it.
with the shiny circles.
So let's
I-
see.
I'm sitting there thinking like, I don't know that I would trust Johnny with the shiny circles either.
But
I don't
Johnny likes the
know.
shiny circles.
I like a cookie.
I don't know how to deal with like. Oh, party sheet inventory. There it is. Okay.
Is there something? Oh, I thought you were like on your character sheet. No.
No, I was just looking for the party's inventory. I'll just keep the money on my character sheet since it's easier that way. But I just need to know where the party's inventory was for later.
All right, so the party sheet, if you look under the top thing,
Yeah, I found it.
yeah,
I'm just saying.
I haven't done anything with the inventory yet. So,
Oh, I see.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Mostly because it's like if this wasn't like technically loot or treasure being
Right.
given out, this was a lump sum of money that like had a very specific purpose. So like here, I've given you this. Buy your tickets. Here's a little bit extra. Just throw it on your sheets.
I don't know why in my mind I was like, oh yeah, Andy's not in the group anymore. He is. You're the DM is why. You're not just gone.
I'm so gone.
Um.
Okay.
So I guess we just wait for the thing to arrive.
Yeah, I mean, you can just kind of pull up a bench, and actually Donnie can go over and just lay down on one of the benches.
And
He does
play
so.
solitaire.
Yeah, you can do that. You can chit chat, whatever. And you just pass the time.
He
As
doesn't fall asleep, but he's on his back looking up at the ceiling with one hand up, seemingly drawing something in the air with his finger.
But you're a half elf, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so you don't actually sleep anyway.
Well, he doesn't have to. That doesn't mean that they don't.
True.
It just feels nice
Yeah.
sleeping.
So, one thing that we can look about or talk about while we're waiting is that with the extra money that we have, we could invest in a carriage and horses in order to make overland travel more effective. We would not be
Perhaps
able to
when we
get like war horses, but we'd be able to get at least, like draft horses to pull the carriage.
Do you have animal handling experience?
No, but as a member of House, well, actually, I don't think I do. But as a member of House Orion, I would be able to influence the shoes that they put onto the horses that pull those carriages. Let me find it here. I'm looking at the wrong screen. I have a whopping +1 in animal handling.
What do I have?
I think it's a +1 by default. So.
I have a +5.
Okay. So we could work in tandem to drive the carriage, you like steering and whatnot, and then me helping to speed it up if we can get the magical shoes that House Orion puts on their horses.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a thought. We don't have to, because
yeah,
I mean,
I'm sorry. What was it you were? What was the thing that you were looking to do?
So talking about potentially getting a carriage and draft horses for overland travel.
Oh, okay. And Varithod to me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Once we get there.
Yeah, I mean, you know that from Varithod to the Salvation, it's like, Cali went over and told you it would only be like a half day's journey. It's not too
Right.
far. And you only needed to be there by the following weekend. It is now let's see, what is it? Is it Sir or Sol? Sol. It's Sol, so essentially Sunday. So it's the beginning of the new week. And as you are leaving this morning, you will be there in plenty of time. So, even if you took your time, once you reach the Varithod, you'll be there in plenty of time to meet with Callie.
Right.
So
The reason
Yeah,
I was
just
proposing it
let's
was it would be an investment for us for when we're traveling to wherever we need to go for our various jobs. It would make traveling not just to Salvation, but traveling, doing our missions from Salvation easier.
going into that, going into the Mornland probably would not be great with the horses. They would probably wig out a little bit.
Possibly. But that's why we have a Dragonborn Ranger that has a +5 in animal handling to take care of that.
There you go.
We need the Skyrim horses. Just go up 90-degree vertical slopes.
Yeah.
So, are we ready to get on the train?
All right, so the next few hours, pass relatively quickly. Some of you doze, some of you lie on their back and draw little finger pictures in the air. And as it gets a little bit closer to dawn, you see more people beginning to arrive. And as the sun crests over the horizon and starts to brighten up the interior of the station here, the activity in the station gets a little bit more active. As more people start to bustle in, you see families, you see a wide assortment of people showing up, and about 5:30, you do hear the call go out for people to board the train at track. What did I say? 12?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, track 12. That it will be departing at 6 a.m. for a variety of points heading east. Start with a stop off in Rote, followed by Star Alaska, and then ending in Varithod. So you all make your way to the train, and you hand your ticket to the conductor, who indicates which car you are going to be riding in, which is actually towards the rear of the train, not all the way back, but probably about maybe just past the midpoint by maybe like a car or two. You find your seats and you sit down, and you are kind of surprised to see that you are not the only kind of odd mix of characters on this train.
We're not the only group of freaks.
Not freaks, but kind of like an odd assortment of characters. Mostly you've kind of seen, excuse me, like families, mostly human, a few like dwarves, here and there. But you see, a few groups of, mixed groups of, like elves and dwarves and halflings. But across the aisle from where you're sitting right now, there is an assortment of folks there. There's a halfling, female halfling, and like a really nice suit of armor, kind of sitting with a sitting like at the elbow of this Goliath, who is busy fiddling with a leather strap and kind of tossing a small stone up in the air a bit. There is a warforged with a, what looks to be a mace grafted to the lower half of his right arm, and they are all watching as a blue-skinned air genasi is kind of creating like small tornadoes on the palm of his hand while there's two hummingbirds sitting on his.
Ali?
I like how we just get to play the game of can Andy remember all of the characters from the last campaign?
No, he cannot.
He could not. I had to go over and check with Lee for some details. And as they're kind of doing that, like the little halfling, she kind of clapped their hands excitedly, and right behind them, you see an elderly gnome who's kind of reading a newspaper, and he just kind of like folds it down and kind of like rolls his eyes. Just flips it back up, like angrily, and just goes back to reading. If anybody didn't pick up on it, that's missing. Okay, I had to get everybody in there just a little bit. And at 6 a.m. sharp, the train begins to hiss, and you can kind of smell the odor of burning ozone as the train kind of lifts and shifts a little bit over the stones that gives the lightning rail its power, and the train begins to pull out of the station, heading out into parts east. All right, so we will just kind of like speed this up. So, like I said, it takes about 2.5 days. You stop off en route, and there's you got like kind of like an hour layover in route as some people disembark, more people come on. It's about an hour or so take off, and several hours go by. Like you travel well into the night. At this point, you would be taking. At this point, you all would be taking a long rest. So you guys can go over and click on that. Or
you have to do that from the.
Yeah, I was just gonna say. I think I have to do that. Let's see. Rest and one rest. Okay. So everybody would get their spells and full healing back. Donnie, you're starting to feel a lot better. You don't feel quite as concussed.
Awesome.
And you continue on. And you have another stop in Star Alaska. It's now about midway through the second day of your travel.
And how many days did you say it would take to travel?
It actually, it's about 2.5 days to get to Varithod. And you stop off at Star Alaska. Again, people get on, people get off, and you continue on to Varithod. So it's taken, just about, about 2.5 days to get to Varithod, and you disembark there. At which point you can purchase horses if you wish, or carts to continue on to Salvation, or you can just continue to Salvation.
Well, if they're not going to be useful for more than just a half day's travel, then it wouldn't be financially responsible to do that. Right.
I'm just processing. Is there there's no, not a taxi, but like a carry service? Is there?
I mean,
you could probably see if there is a maybe not a merchant caravan, but a caravan that is bringing some supplies to the station.
Mm,
okay.
maybe.
And I'm going to say,
1 second.
yeah, I'm not sure what the hell you guys do for that. I mean, I suppose it's something that Kelly could probably check in with Orion. suppliers and see if there's anything that's going out that way.
I step into the kitchen to get some ice.
All right, and I'm going to say that you've arrived in Varithod a bit after noon. So probably like 12:30, 1:45, and you can. I'm going to say maybe do. Like how well traveled would Killian be as far as relation to his family, to the Orient?
I wouldn't say extremely well traveled, but to at least a number of the major cities and nearby outposts.
Okay.
Would have seen, a little bit of activity where they were expanding the lightning rail.
Yeah, but this would be different than the lightning rail, caravans. That would be a completely different situation.
He wouldn't have really. I don't think he would have been with like caravan stuff unless.
Yeah.
It was like on the way to somewhere.
I'm gonna say you can do either a history or a survival check to see if you can ascertain where the best place to go over and find someone that might be working with a caravan that goes out that way.
Could I do that with advantage?
I'm gonna say no.
Damn. Oh, I tried.
I am gonna say that you're the only one that can do this check, being oriented. That's why I'm giving you the option, but the advantage no, because especially if you haven't really been to Varithod to know exactly where it is. But you are actually able to kind of get a sense that knowing how that your house kind of sets things up or how they set things up in Sharn, figuring that things would probably kind of similar in the other cities that they would be networking with. You are able to ascertain that the suppliers that would be parting out goods to an outpost like Salvation is actually not far from the lightning rail station itself, and you make your way over there to see if there's anybody that's heading out that way. And just in the interest of expediency, you are able to give me a persuasion check too.
Persuasion. I'm one persuasive motherfucker.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, you talk to the guy who kind of is head of the caravan. There is a caravan that is due to leave later this afternoon, heading to Salvation to bring supplies. You have managed to convince him to allow you to tag along in exchange for protection. You and the rest are expected to protect the caravan against any potential threats that might be encountered on the journey. And he says that you should arrive in Salvation probably just after sundown, barring any unforeseen circumstances along the way.
And as part of brokering this deal, if we do encounter resistance, what happens to any spoils that we might acquire? in defending the caravan.
How do you mean?
So if we meet bandits or unusual monsters, what happens to the spoils, like the loot or carcasses?
I don't want it. Keep what you kill.
Works for me. That's all I needed to know.
Otherwise, you guys can. We could just speed ahead too. All right.
Sorry,
Well-
my internet dropped out.
Mhm.
I don't know if you heard any of that.
I did not. I
Okay,
heard
so I
something
was-
about purchasing before we split.
Yeah, so I was saying that the caravan master says that the caravan will be departing in a couple of hours.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so 3 p.m. sharp. So, if there's anything that you want to purchase while you're within the city, you're welcome to do so. Otherwise, we can just go right to the departure.
I don't think I want anything.
I feel like I don't want to buy any. Like, I'm in the market for some plate armor, but I think it's a little too early to buy it outright. So unless they have like a really good deal on full plate,
Yeah, unlikely.
what do we know about Salvation as far as like importing goods? Is there anything that they might be in need of that they might pay a premium for?
No, you really don't know much about Salvation at all. As a matter of fact,
Can we ask
probably
the
for.
caravan leader?
Oh, well, yeah, you can ask him, and he's gonna go off and tell you. It's like, pretty much everything they need is what he's bringing. It's just like food stuff and some tools where needed. They're more or less fairly self-sustaining, but they do occasionally need some some basic goods delivered to them, uh, every so often. Um, but there's nothing like specific that like they need this amount of stuff to do whatever with that you need to bring with them. Yeah, they're set. Whatever he's bringing is what they need.
Okay.
Unless you had something specific in mind.
Well, I was like thinking they might want like alcohol or specific textiles or I don't know.
Oh yeah. So you mentioned that he goes over and he lists like a tarp. See like several huge casks of ale that are loaded up onto this cart. He said, "Yep, got that covered too."
Okay.
I missed something. Who is Killian talking to?
The caravan master. Not the caravan. The
Oh,
caravan.
we're
master.
on the train still.
Caravan. No, you're not
No.
on the train. You're
Oh.
in Vatheron right now.
Batheron?
Vatheron. It's the city just before. It's the last city on the line before you reach Salvation. But you need to walk or find a ride to Salvation. And Killian has negotiated a ride with the caravan in exchange for you protecting the caravan against anything that might ambush the caravan. So like, monsters or bad guys, whatever. And he's been chatting with the caravan master to go over and find out, is there anything that Salvation needs in particular that we can bring?
I'm sorry, is Salvation a person or a place?
It's
It's
a
a
place.
place.
Okay, and how do you spell the city that we're currently in?
Vathirond.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
No problem. All right. So, so nobody's going shopping or anything?
Not me.
I just can't think of anything I'd want that would be gotten this early on, because the only things I could think of would be like, well, I don't know. I'm not proficient with heavy armor, so better armor isn't anything I need, and I've got ammo for the rest of my life on accident.
Oh, speaking of ammo, I have none. So that is something I need to buy.
I think I have enough ammo for now.
I think the only thing I'm really after right now is maybe an enchanted pistol. But even that's kind of like... Even that's kind of an eh, because as an artificer I can just enchant it myself later.
Sure.
So, I guess I'm not really after anything right now.
And I won't presume to speak for Charon.
Just typing up a quick note into the calendar. Okay. All right. So if nobody needs to do any shopping, we will.
I need arrows.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
Okay. So Donnie can go off, find an armor, and yeah, you can just buy, what you need.
Okay.
Not gonna go crazy setting up a full shop or anything. So.
Why not?
Well, I want to try negotiating a reduced price because I don't know how much these arrows are.
Well, arrows are arrows. I think they're that 1 gold for 20. I think.
The arrows, equipment... It just says 1 gold piece for about a pound's worth of arrows.
Arrows. It's 20. Yeah, it's 1 gold per 20.
Oh, that's fine. I don't need to negotiate then. Okay, I have 20 gold pieces. For 1 gold piece for 20 arrows?
Mm-hmm.
And how much do they weigh? 1 pound per 20?
1 pound per 20, correct.
Okay.
If you're getting arrows, you're also going to need a quiver, which is also a gold, and that's also a pound.
Okay. Then I will buy a quiver. And...
60 arrows.
well, let's say 40.
Yeah,
So
I was gonna say that's like 5 gold, and you can recover arrows if you search after a combat or something.
yeah, so I'll spend 3 gold on a quiver and 40 arrows.
Sounds good. All right. Anybody else?
I don't guess so.
All right. So we will zip ahead. So at 3 p.m., you join with the caravan and head out of Eberron on your way to Salvation. So I am going to say... I'm going to decide if I want to have something attack you guys.
Do what we used to do and just roll a dice.
Yeah, I'm trying to decide if if I want to do a percentile, if I roll this and on this and this, nothing happens. On this and this, something does happen. All right. So, Astrid, do me a favor. Roll a d6. On a result of 1 through 3. Okay, I was going to say on a result of 1 through 3, nothing happens, and 4 through 6. So, the journey passes uneventfully, and you arrive. Well, you approach as the sun is starting to dip below the horizon as sundown quickly approaches. You see in the distance a very small, ramshackle, run-down looking town. And as you get closer, you see that the buildings on the edge of the town are held up by the sheer will of, well, just sheer will. Like, they look like a strong wind could knock all of them down. They're just held together with like white glue, just like it's like they just are really, really rough looking. Actually, hold on 1 second.
Do you have a picture?
I went over and had a little fun making. Thank you. Flip it in. Okay. No, flip it in. Sorry about that. So the house looks a lot rougher than what this. But it's not a ton of people around. Like you can see enough people to get a sense that this is pretty busy, but everybody that you see just looks kind of rough. Like these are people that are used to roughing it. Like they are not looking for creature comforts. They are here to do a job, and anybody that gets in their way does so at their own peril. The caravan kind of pulls into the town, and it's right alongside a road that is parallel to a series of lightning stones that are embedded in the ground, and you kind of get the sense that once upon a time, and actually Killian, you would know this fairly well, that once upon a time the lightning rail did go further than Varithod, but with the cataclysm that created the Mournland, it decimated the stones that were past this point right here. So anything that goes into the Mournland, the stones that would be going into the Mournland, are no longer used. They, it's unknown if they're actually still active. But the lightning rail no longer goes further than Varithod because the rail just runs out. Let's see. So you leave off with the caravan master, and you begin looking for the tavern that Callie Alwyn told you to meet her at. Tavern called the Grey Beyond, and it is not far from where the caravan has parked. As a matter of fact, it's only maybe 2 houses or 2 buildings down from the warehouse where the caravan is unloading its goods. And you make your way over to there. And, well, the Grey Beyond is much like the rest of Salvation. Sturdy, rough, uncouth, with a touch of magic in the air that could be the promise of riches or just another vile spell wafting in from the Mournland to tear you limb from limb. You enter the tavern, and it is full of people that look very... You sense almost a kinship. Like, these scavengers are, like you, have come here to spend hard-earned coin on expensive drinks and cheap food. Sharing wild rumors and I'm just going to read what it says here. Wild rumors and half-truths about the ruined nation of Seer. Some call it the Mournland, others call it the Grey. But it's a land of death and opportunity for all who gather. And in this room, you can see a large rectangular board secured to the wall. And on it are a bunch of scraps of paper with writing on it. and you get the sense that this is where potential jobs are posted. This is the salvage board. This is where a place where the brokers of salvation bills for jobs they need doing. Okay? And this board is the beating heart of the scavenger industry and the jobs it provides, which are to become your lifeblood here. I don't know why they included that. Okay. So, now that you're here, what do you do?
Did we find the tavern we're supposed to be at?
You're in the tavern right now.
Yes, okay.
Okay.
I don't quite recall. Is there someone we're meeting here?
Callie Alrin said that she would meet you here.
Okay.
Okay. So I guess we're just kind of sitting around waiting for her.
I'm gonna look at the board and see what's on it. Already. Just get a feel for what people around here are trying to do.
So you kind of do a quick scan of the board, and are the rest of you doing that, or are you guys grabbing
Yes.
like grabbing the table? Oh, you're all
I
looking
guess
at the board.
we'll check the board, yeah.
Okay. So on the board is all manner of like small tasks, from everything from, oh, I've lost this item, to I can't find this person, somebody help me out. There's a few that do kind of stick out to you. All right. Okay. So you find, here's this one. And this one. And this one. So you find there's 3 jobs that kind of look interesting to you.
Hmm. Okay, I have a weird request. Can I roll a perception or something to see if we were followed?
Yeah, sure.
Were there only the 3?
These are the main 3 that looked most interesting to you.
Okay.
Ugh.
Okay. As near as you can tell, it does not appear that anybody followed you, nor does it seem like anybody's paying you any attention.
Okay.
I feel like Killian would be most interested in finding the scout, but I know for certain that Charon would most likely be interested in the Silver Flame job.
So am I.
Donnie is adamant about taking the Silver Flame job.
Alright. Okay. Why are we all taking the Silver Flame? I think I missed something.
Because if we're gonna take a job out of the 3 of them, that one seems favorable.
Alright.
Charon is a priestess of the Silver Flame, so that's why she would
I
like
know.
it.
Yeah.
Mhm,
But
mhm.
the missing scout, I think, is more pressing.
Alright. Yeah, well, I guess I'm fine with whatever we're doing, so Silver Flame it is, I suppose.
Okay.
Okay, so as you all kind of discuss your respective jobs here, discuss which one you want to take on first. You see a dirty old gnome wearing torn clothes climbing onto a table. And as he does so, a hush falls over the rowdy tavern. and somebody kind of stage whispered, "Brackle's gonna talk," in this odd tone. And the gnome, and as the tavern grows quiet, the gnome begins to speak, and his voice cracks and hisses with his old age. And he says, "The three great worms were always at war. They warred in the beginning when they made the world, and they'll war over it again at the end. Sybaris, source of magic, was shattered into the sky. Kyber, master of secrets, was imprisoned under the earth, and Eberron, creator of life, now reigns over the world. But all will change soon. The prophecy they warred over, written in the bones of the earth and the flesh of our people, and its words shall guide us to the end." And with that, the gnome returns to his seat and closes his eyes. The tavern's patrons hesitate for a moment, absorbing the gnome's declaration before returning to their spirited conversation. And that was it. He just back goes over and he says the shit and goes to sleep.
Can you put that into chat?
Yeah. Okay. All right. So you kind of all look at each other across the table, kind of what the hell was that? The door to the tavern opens, and a familiar face walks in as Callie Alring has arrived. And she walks in and she walks up to the bar and she orders a drink. And she tosses the bartender a coin, and she turns around and she leans on the bar and she takes a drink from her mug, and she kind of scans the room, and you see her eyes grow wide with surprise as she notices that you are sitting at your table. And with a big smile, she approaches. Hello.
And her name was Callie?
Callie Alrin, yes.
Would you like some coffee?
So she reaches your table and she puts she puts her foot up on the bench as she leans over and she says, "Well, you didn't waste any time getting here. I was not expecting to see you until this weekend."
Weekend?
House Orion is always on time.
You don't say. It's good to see you. Glad you made it. No problems getting here, I take it.
No.
Excellent. Well, listen, I don't have much time because me and my crew... Actually, hold on 1 second. Where the hell is that? There it is. Excuse me. She says, well, I don't have much, too long to chat. She's only in town for a few hours myself. Then me and my crew, the Grey Dog, we're about to head into the Mornland again. Speak some more stuff. She's like, I'd take you along with us, but you remember what I said about, five people being the sweet spot. Because my crew's full. It's make sure you check the salvage board for any jobs that might need doing. And hopefully you don't die the first time out. By the way, probably should have mentioned this before. Did you all pick out a name for yourselves?
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, you might want to do that.
My name's Donnie.
And Kali looks over at Donnie and kind of arches an eyebrow and kind of like, okay. And that's what she says. It's like, oh, okay. I didn't mean your name. I meant name of the group. Like, I've got the gray dogs. That's just for keeping track of the crew and their bounties and everything. So you might want to
Did it take a long time to train your gray dogs?
And then she looks at Donnie, and
I hope they don't bite.
This is the group you've ended up with.
she just kind of like looks at Donnie, and she just kind of like smirks just a little bit, kind of like, okay, good luck with this one. She says, just pick a name for your crews. That way they can go over and keep track of what you bring in, and for payment and everything. Yeah. Oh, she says that, and make sure that you register your name with the salvage office. Yeah. Gonna pick up those.
What does she have to gain from our little group here?
Herself, personally, nothing. It's just that there's what happened was there was another crew that was operating that was lost. They all died, so they were bringing in another crew to kind of replace them, and that's what you guys are doing.
This is essentially the first episode of Futurama.
I'm gonna ask her what happened.
She says, well, we don't really know. It's that one of the, it's just one of the other crews found what looked to be the remnants of their camp and a few bloody pieces.
Bloody
Not
pieces,
even-
like, what do you mean?
Of them.
Of them. Yeah, something tore through them like knives and left
What'd she say?
a few pieces left behind. We don't know what it was. We don't know when it was, how it happened. Just something just absolutely decimated this crew.
What was their objective?
I really don't know. I don't know what job that they were working on at that
Okay.
time.
Okay.
What kind of job are you going out on?
And she just kind of smirks. She says, well, if you were a gray dog, we'd let you know. But you take care of yours and we'll take care of ours.
Well, we don't want to step on your toes, so we would want to avoid taking a job that would interfere.
Oh, you won't. Because any job that we take comes off that board, so you won't be taking the same one.
Okay.
So, well, I gotta go meet up with the rest of the dogs. I will see you later, hopefully. Try not to die out there.
You do the same.
Thanks.
We will.
So she goes over and she takes her mug, she drains the last of it, and she just, slams it down on your table, and she just kind of gives you like a mock salute, and she takes off and leaves. Okay. So now you guys get to pick a name for yourselves.
So I have a party name generator pulled up here. It wants to know what the main characteristic of our group is. Any thoughts?
The Nightmare Before the Feywild.
No.
Well, surely we can come up with something based on our experiences.
We haven't had any experience.
No, in like collectively, maybe we have something in common.
Two-eyed, 2 feet friends.
Did you say blue-eyed?
Blue-eyed.
Blue-eyed.
So would you say that we have all been unlucky or unfortunate?
I unlucky with kind of what was running around in my head.
I'm always lucky with her around.
With who?
He just kind of stares off into space.
Okay.
So I have a list.
Yes.
The hapless harvesters, Misfortune Marauders, Cursed Collectors, Jinxed Junkers, Accursed Acquisitionists,
Too much.
Doomed Dredgers, Ill-Fated Foragers, Luckless Looters, and I'll generate one more. The Bungled
junk-
Bounty Hunters.
No, you're
I
not
like
the
the
Junkers one. I liked.
The Jinxed
Mid-
Junkers.
I kind of like that one, but that's just me. I'm not part of the group.
Marauders or something. What was the one that started with M's in the first place?
Misfortune.
Misfortune
Misfortune.
Marauders.
Yeah, I like that one.
Cursed Cartographers. Jinxed Jewel Seekers. Misadventure Merchants. I like that one. The Salvage Syndicate.
Hmm.
Salvage Syndicate. That sounds great.
Yeah. Salvage Syndicate.
That's
sounds okay.
essentially what we're doing.
Yep.
What is a syndicate? I should know,
Syndicate
but I
is
don't.
an organization.
A group of people.
Usually a syndicate is thought of nowadays as like a gang, but that's not really what the term implies.
Mhm.
So it's just another term for organization.
Sure.
So Salvage Syndicate then? Alright,
Fine.
then I will look for where we need to register that.
Okay.
And are we in agreement that we're taking the Silver Flame job?
Yeah.
I was on mute, but a syndicate is defined as a group of individuals, all with a common interest.
Okay.
Works.
That's pretty much us.
Just give me a second. Okay.
Surprised
so
Ben
you
hasn't
did-
joined us yet.
All right, and you said you were gonna look into figuring out where that gets done.
Yeah.
Okay. So you approach the bartender to ask, right?
Right.
Okay. So you approach the bar, and behind the bar is a man in what looks to be maybe his mid-40s. He's got like sandy blonde hair, a very bushy mustache. The hair kind of comes into like these mutton chops, and he's wearing just kind of just some common clothes, but they have clearly seen better days. He is busily kind of wiping the bar with a rag that looks like he's adding more grime than he's picking up. And as you approach, he looks up at you, and you can see that across his right eye, he's got a scar that kind of goes right across it.
Ooh, so edgy.
Oh, I know, so edgy. And where the edges of the scar are like right at the eyebrow, there is a gold hoop that kind of almost looks like it's holding it together. It's not open, but it's just kind of giving you that illusion of like this one gold ring. It's holding this scar together. And as you approach, he just kind of looks at you and he's like, "What do you want? What can I
Hi.
get for you?"
Need to register a salvage group.
"Oh, you do you?"
Yeah.
I was gonna say I didn't think you looked familiar. Hold on a second. So he takes the rag and he leaves it on the bar, and he turns behind him, and from a shelf down low, he pulls out a large leather-bound book, which he opens up, and he flips through several pages, and do me a favor, roll perception.
Me?
Yeah.
Perception.
Okay, that's fine. As he's flipping through the pages, you see that there are line after line after line of names. You can't really read the names so much because they are upside down, and the handwriting that is written is not the best. But what you are kind of able to see is that there are kind of like headers where it'll have like the name of, like, say, a group, and then there's a list of 5 names that go with that header. And you are kind of able to ascertain that, okay, these are the scavenger crews that are operating.
Can I make out any of the names?
Again, like I said, that handwriting is upside down, and he's kind of flipping the pages really quick. You're just able to kind of see that there's multiple names.
Names don't have lips to make out with, Killian.
The one thing that you do notice, and actually you're kind of alarmed by, is how many of these names are crossed out.
Oh, okay.
Okay, and as he's continuing through this page, you're seeing multiple points where the entire banner with the list of names have all been crossed out. In some cases, it's just maybe 1 or 2 names under the header has been crossed out, and another name written next to that first name, where you kind of get the sense of, okay, you know what, somebody in that crew was lost and replaced with somebody else. And he continues flipping through the pages until he reaches a blank page, and he looks up at you. He's like, okay, crew name?
What did we...
Something
This-
Syndicate.
Salvage Syndicate.
Salvage.
And he's like, Salvage. How do you spell syndicate?
SYNDICATE.
SYNDICATE.
Oh my god, Jordan.
Donnie
Sorry.
just stood behind Killian, repeating the letters as Killian said them.
If we wanted to be edgy, we could spell it with an I instead of a Y.
Ooh.
Oh.
Ooh, like sin, as we sin all the time. Ooh, edgy.
With a member of the Silver Flame Church in our midst.
Yeah, there you go. So, and then he looks up at you and says, okay, name of party members, of crew members, and yeah, you can give all your names.
Donnie!
It's like the Mickey Mouse Club.
Mm.
Hi, I'm
Astrid Crispy Ale.
Hi, I'm Astrid. And I'm
She's-
Donnie.
Deep fried, she's crispy.
Oh god.
Hot dog, hot diggity dog.
So, one at a
Makes me
time.
want a hot McGrill burger.
No!
Oh no.
All right, so one,
Crispy Astrid.
No!
so one at a time, you all give your name to this guy.
Donnie
And-
says his name after everybody also says their name. A total of 4 times.
And each time, he just looks up at you, shakes his
Looking for
head,
approval.
just shakes his head, and goes back to writing the next name. And he says, Once he's got everybody written down there, he says, very good, very good. We got you registered. Have you decided on your first job?
Yes, we have decided to seek out Mother Johanna
Hubbard.
with the Silver Flame relic job.
Good. He makes a note next to your crew name. Very good, very good. Okay. All right. Well, looks like everything is all nice and taken care of. You are all set. And I wish you luck. And he closes the book with a thump and takes it and puts it back where he got it. And he goes back to, quote unquote, cleaning the bar with his rag.
I'm going to ask him if he can direct us to the chapel, the Silver Flame Chapel.
Let's see here.
We don't need his help, Killian. I'll lead the way.
All right. So he says, if you go out the door, make a left,
Out the door, make a left.
make your first right.
Make your first right.
I put my hand over Danny's mouth. And I just look him in the eye and I say, have you been here before?
I imagine he's just licking the palm of your hand.
I've had worse. I've had worse.
So he says, go out the door, take a left, make your first right, and the Silver Flame Chapel is the third building on the left.
I'm this close to just slitting your throat, man.
Can we leave him in daycare here and come collect him later?
The bartender is like, sorry, we don't have babysitters.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
I must find the relic.
Okay, Johnny.
Okay.
Yep.
Well,
Okay,
then
Karen.
I will look at the rest of the party and ask if they're ready to head out to meet Mother Johanna. I'm wondering if it's maybe Johanna?
Joanna?
Johanna.
Johanna
Well,
is a lizard.
maybe she's
Bear
like,
with me.
Nordic and it's Johanna.
Once again.
Why don't we ask her?
I don't need this anymore. Just give me a second, guys. I closed something and I probably shouldn't have. No.
In a second.
Bad DM. Bad.
Okay, don't need that. Put that there. Close that. Here it is. That's what I'm looking for.
I wish y'all could hear the ambient sounds that I have going.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's either Johanna or Johanna.
I stand
Which
by
one?
Joanna.
Which one sounds more mother? I think Johanna.
I like
Nice.
Johanna.
Well, that's not an O, it's an A, so it'd be Johanna.
I think it's an O.
Johanna? Johanna. Johanna.
Okay. Yeah, I was hoping that
Annie.
there would be like. I was hoping that there was going to be like a pronunciation indicator, but
No.
nothing. Let's see. Actually, maybe it's one of the actual physical.
Are we
Yeah.
gonna go find Mother Gothel or not?
Johanna
Oh
is
no, there
actu-
is one.
Johanna is actually a
What?
Japanese name.
And actually, it is Johanna. Johanna.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we follow the directions and head towards the chapel.
Okay, so you leave the tavern, and it is now dark. There's a variety of street lanterns that the ever bright lanterns that are attached to them have been lit. Uh, you know, you're able to kind of make your way through the streets well enough, and following the directions, you arrive at. God damn it! Here we go. All right. Okay. So you find the chapel of the Silver Flame. It is made of clean dressed stone and has a gabled roof of silver painted wooden shingles. Inside several simple but well-made benches rest before a stone altar. A silver dish sits on the altar, and behind it a large tapestry embroidered with the image of a silver arrow hangs on the wall. A middle-aged woman dressed in silver-tinged clerical vestments smiles in welcome, a rare sight in a town that trucks in so much unkindness. And the woman smiles at you and she says, "Welcome. I'm Mother Johanna, keeper of the chapel. How can the silver flame be of service to you?"
It's more about how we can be of service to you. We noticed that there was a job posting for a missing relic from your chapel.
Oh, thank goodness. Thank goodness the flame provides. I was hoping that somebody would answer this sooner rather than later, but any time's good. Thank you for agreeing to help.
Man, you're late as crap, but okay, I guess.
What was that?
I have no idea.
That's basically what she was saying. She's like, oh, thanks for the help. You're late as hell, but, you know, anything's useful at this point.
Yeah. Or she basically was like, I was hoping somebody would have, answered this a little bit sooner, but hey, yeah, thanks for showing up. She says, please have a seat. Have a seat. I'll explain what's going on. And once you all kind of, sit down in the pews that are nearby, she begins to explain that, this chapel was blessed with a relic called the Arrow of Truth, and which came directly from the heart of Flame Keep, which is the headquarters of the Church of the Silver Flame in Thrain. And she's like, I don't know what happened. She's like, 3 days ago, I left the chapel to run an errand.
Sorry, the way you said that, I imagine she had like her leg crossed and her hand, flipped over and said, "What? Listen, the deal is."
Okay, here's what
It's
happened.
just so informally.
Like, I don't know what happened. She's like, 3 days ago, it's like I left the chapel to run an errand, and I left chapel in the care of one of our acolytes, a young man named Jariah John. Although I was surprised when I was out there to encounter Jariah buying food from the market. When I asked him what he was doing there, he told me he seemed confused because he told me that he hadn't been at the chapel at all that day. And when he told me that, I rushed back to the chapel, but when I got here, the altar was open and the Arrow of Truth was gone. And when I asked around, I was told that Jariah was seen carrying a wrapped bundle into the office of a notorious salvage broker a few minutes after I arrived back at the chapel. It's like, as soon as I heard that, she kind of like gets a look across her face, like, Like she wants to say something, but she's not quite sure how to say it. So she says, "Look, I'm going to come out and just say it plainly as I can."
You're gay.
She says, "The broker that this thief was seen entering, I believe that he orchestrated the theft. And I
And
know this because I have dealt with this brigand before."
and what is this brigand's name?
This brigand, this fiend, this thief, just getting more incensed as she begins. She said, he's an untrustworthy shifter by the name of
You cut out there. Zodor?
Zodor, Zodor, Tarev, Tarev.
Alright.
I know Zodor would never sully his hand doing the dirty work, so the actual thief must be in his employ.
And where can we
And
find your acolyte?
he is at his rest now, at his home, up the streets. Uh, just past the Tin Pot Tavern.
Awful lot of taverns for a small city. And where is Zodor?
Zodor.
Are you like sharing a map?
What's that?
Do you have like a city map?
I can show you the city map here.
Pretty please.
Okay.
Wow, I know you didn't make that.
No, this is what came with. Yeah, it doesn't look like it actually indicates individual brokers.
So 13.
But we'll say that Zodor's residence is next to the apothecary. She says, so Johanna says, if you're able to get the relic back for us, I can provide each of you your choice of a vial of antitoxin, a flask of alchemist fire, or 20 silver arrows if you can find and return the relic.
That was 20 silver arrows, wine, and what else?
A vial, you can either get a vial of antitoxin,
Antitoxin.
alchemist fire, or the 20 silver arrows. And she says the Church of Silver Flames rewards those who help its cause, even if it's not a monetary award.
If they're offering silver arrows, that implies that we're probably going to need silver weapons at some point in this campaign.
We'll cross that bridge when we get to it, I suppose.
Can we
Well,
make
I
a
feel like
religion check?
Okay.
or
About
I'm gonna let Charon do that.
yeah, but for what?
Oh, about silvered weapons and
so Karen would know that as it is the Silver Flame, they tend to uh, to coat or plate or dip their weapons, a variety of different types of weapons into silver. And this is a holdover from the time where the church had waged its war against lycanthropes,
Hmm.
and that silver weapons are very effective against a variety of different creatures. So they continue to do so. So it's not like anything specific. It's just it's the silver flame. So that's what they do.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Silver Flame Chapel 11. Okay.
Well, step one is we still need to get the relic from the guy.
And the alchemist is, or the apothecary is 14.
We have a master of disguise on our hands. Well,
It's
not
like a
on
block
our
away.
hands, but in our hands. Well, not really in our hands, because we don't know where he is, but he's like just in front of our hands. Or maybe not, because I don't know how far away he is from us.
How long has
But
the
he will
arrow
be in our hands, or at least one of our hands. How many hands do
been
we have?
here in the chapel?
I'm sorry. Say again.
How long has the arrow been kept here in the chapel?
She's actually, I don't even know if it actually says. Ba, 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 ba. She's well, okay. So Salvation Outpost would only have been around the one, so uh, they probably would have only had it for like maybe the last year and a half max.
Okay. Um, is there somebody in charge of looking after it?
And Mother Johanna actually, she looks a little embarrassed. She said, unfortunately, she said that was actually me,
Mm-hmm.
and I thought it was in good hands that I could leave the chapel for a few minutes to run an errand, but
I understand.
uh,
Oh.
So,
Mm-hmm.
we're looking for an arrow. The last potential sighting of which is with a broker. Who's probably long since gotten rid of it.
What did the broker do? I'm sorry, I missed that part.
She thinks that
Jiraiya took
he's orchestrated this plot.
Yeah, but what did he do?
he
Oh, I
took
see.
the arrow.
Yeah,
He
she
has
Right,
the
thinks
but
that
relic.
why?
Jiraiya took the arrow to the broker, and she thinks the broker orchestrated the plot.
But why?
Okay,
Does
Well,
she know
so
why?
our current understanding of the situation is that she left it in charge with an acolyte who turned out not to be the acolyte she thought he was. Then he took the arrow to a broker who orchestrated the whole thing.
Can I don't know if this is metagaming or not. Can I make a insight check against the mother to see if she is accusing the broker because he's actually shady, or if she's accusing the broker because he is a shifter?
I thought she was accusing the broker because he was the last person Jiraiya was seen having contact with.
But
you can get
she it seems like she's predisposed to dislike the broker, and I believe as the player that it's because he's a shifter and she's from the Silver Flame.
She did say that she'd had previous dealings with the broker.
That's true.
Does shifter just mean shapeshifter?
No,
Shifter
shifter just means
is
a shifty character.
No, Shifter is a race in Eberron. They're
Oh.
they're kind of like werewolves, but not really werewolves.
Mm-hmm.
They're kind of like almost werewolves.
Yeah.
They can shift and they can take on a variety of animalistic features, like long claws or the ability to run like long distances, very easily and stuff like that. But they don't become like a full werewolf.
Right.
But because of their similarity to actual lycanthropes, werewolves, they
Mm-hmm.
were actually kind of caught up in the whole Silver Flame purge of many years ago.
Oh.
So there's a lot of, especially on the part of worshippers of the Silver Flame, like distrust and outright hatred of shifters because of their similarity to lycanthropes.
Mm-hmm.
But you can, yeah, you were going to make an insight, Lee?
Yes, I muted myself. Yes, I would like to.
Go right ahead.
And this is Killian making the insight check, because I like these dice.
All right. So you kind of, you know, as Mother Johanna is explaining the situation and talking, um, your first instinct is kind of like, okay, well, is she just thinking that it's this guy because he's a shifter and she's of the Silver Flame? But the more she talked, you very quickly understand that no, she has. You're getting the sense that she has had dealings with him before, either on a professional level or like maybe he did something to her or something like that. So like she's just saying that like he's untrustworthy. She doesn't trust him. Like maybe he's done something to a friend of hers, but whatever it is, it's like it's not what you're thinking it is. It's just more of like this is a bad guy. This is not somebody that you can trust. And the fact, and again, she's only kind of like pointing him out because somebody was seeing, you know, somebody saw Jiraiya go into this guy's place with a wrapped bundle.
Mm-hmm.
Fair. So I'll ask her if she can tell us any more about the broker and where she thinks the arrow is now.
Yep. He says, far as Zodor goes, he he is not to be trusted. He is, let's just say that he has wronged more people in town, and the fact that he still lives and draws breath is by the will of the flame.
Hmm.
And I fear that one day he's going to cross the wrong person, and that will be his last. That'll be the last time he does so. As far as where the silver arrow may be, I hope like Kyber that he still holds it. Because if he does, it'll be easier for you to get it back from him. If he has sold it or gotten rid of it in some way, I fear it may be lost to us. But right now, I have no idea.
Is there anything else that you think we should know?
Well, I do know that Zodor rarely walks rarely leaves his office, save to go to dinner at the Grey Beyond. And when he does so, he is always in attendance by his enforcers, a pair of twin humans named Shybuck and Rolls.
Shybuck and Rolls.
Shybuck and Rolls. Yeah.
And when does he go to dinner?
At dinner time. It varies. It's not at that time.
Okay.
But
Does anyone
he
else have any
only
questions?
she does go up and say he only leaves his office at night.
So he has lunch at night?
Yes, I have any questions?
So does that mean he sleeps during the day? Or
No, it just said that he only leaves his office at night. So he may be just working all the time.
So he has lunch during the day at a local restaurant, and then he leaves again at night, and at all other times he's in his office?
He has dinner at night. I never said anything about lunch.
Okay.
Well, we could just check with him while he's in his office, I guess.
Yeah, where is his office? Yeah.
I think maybe we should excuse ourselves and discuss this away from the mother, so that she has plausible deniability in case anything unusual happens.
Somebody with the fancy words.
Fancy
All right,
words like plausible and deniability.
So are you leaving the chapel, or what are you doing?
Yeah, I believe we should leave the chapel and find somewhere quiet to speak.
But his office.
Right, his office is not in the chapel.
Speaking of Shybuck and Rolls, I haven't actually eaten today.
Is that just you coming to that realization, or is that in
That was
character?
Donnie.
Sounds like, yeah.
That was in character.
Okay. Oh. I mean, I would totally see Jordan making that realization too.
I have eaten today, actually. Thank you.
I made stew last night, so.
Ooh, yummy.
I'm good at making soups and stews.
It's true.
Good.
I've seen your posts on Facebook.
So,
I have had your stew too.
we need to figure out where his office is.
It's in the scrapyard, which is the northeast side of town, based off the map. So.
What? No. I said he was next to the apothecary, which is number 14, down on the bottom of the map.
You said that's where his house is. That's where his residence. But his office would be at the scrapyard.
I never said anything about the scrapyard. I never said anything about the office being at the scrapyard.
Oh. Okay. I assumed.
We haven't asked her where his office is that I know of.
Well, I was like figuring it's like the because it doesn't list like Zodor is here,
Yeah.
So I just went over. I just picked a residence, and that was his office.
Okay.
All right. So
he works from home.
Excuse me. Yeah.
Okay.
So why don't we go down and check out the quote unquote office and see if he's home.
Alright.
And if he is, we can just say we got mixed up and we were trying to check in on whatever job he had, and we just got turned around. That way we have an easy out.
If any of his folks have seen the job posting, they're probably expecting someone, don't you think?
I feel like we shouldn't.
I don't think we should even go into the office. I think we should just spy on him.
Okay.
All right. So I should probably go over and say that when you went over and you chose the job, you take the posted notice off the board.
Right, but she said that that notice has been there for a while,
Oh
right?
yeah, it's been for a couple of days at least. Yeah,
So he could know that she knows or that she's onto him.
potentially.
So maybe we should go speak to Jiraiya first.
But if Jiraiya's working with the guy,
Jiraiya is an acolyte, or am I mistaken?
So
Jiraiya is an acolyte, yes.
yeah, it's a Jiraiya. Yeah, just to clarify things. So when
Uh-huh.
Johanna went over and left to run her errand, she left the chapel in the care of Jiraiya. Okay. While
Uh-huh.
she was out on her errand, she ran into Jiraiya at the market buying food.
Mm-hmm.
And when she asked him why he was there and not at the chapel, he was surprised because he's like, I haven't been to the chapel at all today.
Uh,
Okay. So she ran back to the chapel, and that's when she found that the altar had been opened and the relic had been removed. So whoever was there at the chapel was not Jiraiya. It was just somebody that was disguised to look like him.
okay, I'm
so
getting it now.
we might be dealing with a changeling.
Shapeshifter of some sort, yeah.
Cause,
Or just deception magic of some sort.
so then what do we want to do? Because we have to do something.
If we go and confront the guy, I don't think we lie and dance around the subject, because I think that's gonna tell him like. I mean that goes to the whole trope of like cops trying to pretend that they aren't cops. I think if we're going to confront him, we need to just be direct on why we're there and be like, "Hey, we're here for the arrow. Do you have it or not?" Kind
But
of
then
thing.
he'll know for certain that we're on his case.
He's gonna know that regardless. So I say we just be direct about it.
Who, Jiraiya or
Mm,
Zodor?
Zodorak, whatever his name is.
I would rather try sneaking into his office while he's dining.
Well, we can try that.
yeah, we could look in the books and see if he's got a record somewhere. Maybe even like under a fake name.
Yeah. Okay, I'm down with that.
Find.
Johnny isn't quite sure why he feels this way, but he feels an overwhelming need to break in and snoop.
Right.
Okay.
So what's the plan, guys? What are we doing?
Apparently,
I
we're
guess.
going to go with the breaking and entering route at
All right.
Zordor's residence / home office.
Okay. Excuse me. So you head down the main street there, and then you take a right on Third Avenue, and you go out towards the where the lightning stones are,
Hmm.
and then you take another left, and there's three buildings on this block. One of them you see a sign in the front of it that shows a flask with a painted sign depicting a flask with a purple liquid in it and some like it's bubbling, and it
Like it
just
looks like it's moving.
not like that it looks like it's moving. It's just painted like a bubbling liquid inside this flask.
Okay.
So
Wait, where are we
that
finding this
This
again?
is the apothecary sign.
Yeah, this is
Oh, okay.
in front of one of the buildings, and that's the apothecary, and it actually just spells out apothecary right under the flask drawing. On either side are a couple of what looks to be just regular residences. One of them is a like a small single-story house with a porch in the front that is like a brisk wind away from falling over completely.
I'm guessing that's not Zoder's house.
There is a warm glow in the face of the building, and you're kind of wondering, okay, is Zodor home right now? When the door opens and uh, a a half elf man who looks to be in maybe his 60s or steps out and leans against the front of the house and lights a pipe and begins to smoke. And he sees you on the street and just kind of glares at you with almost a threatening, like, get away from my house type look. Um, you're not sure what his deal is, but you continue moving on, and that's the first half. Above the apothecary, you move past the apothecary and to the last house on this block, and what you see is a building that is made from lashed together timbers with an upturned artillery wagon serving as its roof. The structure itself perches on stilts over a mud-filled crater, and a rickety ladder ascends to the entrance, which is a curtain of yellowing bone threaded on copper wires. There does not appear to be any light emanating from the window, and at the moment it looks to be... Oh, I thought I said hot elf. I'm like, it wasn't that hot.
I mean, I can't. I don't have a
I
pen
know.
to write
I
with.
know.
So.
I know. So yeah, right now this building appears to be unoccupied.
Okay. I am going to look at Melody and comment. I know that you are crafty. How are you with blocks?
Oh. Well, I would need a pair of thieves' tools for one. I don't have any on me right now. I have a pair of smith's tools. I could try and break the lock open.
I believe I have thieves' tools.
Okay.
Maybe.
I will shift my attention
Actually,
to Donnie and say, are
no,
you
I
skilled
don't.
at using them?
I don't have them. I don't think.
Oops.
Maybe I
Okay.
should have them.
So
Andy, do you remember what we agreed
As far as
as far as thieves' tools?
I thought you said you were getting them.
do you want to look at your sheet on D&D Beyond?
I am looking.
I really can't remember because I can't remember if
Well, I don't see them there either.
yeah, maybe you didn't get them.
Improvised tools. The rules for improvised tools suggest that you can use any item to attempt a task, but it may impose disadvantage on a check. A dagger being a pointed tool might work for picking a lock, but it wouldn't be as effective as a proper set of thieves' tools. So,
I got daggers.
but are you skilled in sleight of hand or you know what? I'm going to
Yeah.
defer to Andy.
Yes.
What
Yes, I
skill
am.
would be appropriate for opening a lock with a dagger?
And
Probably sleight of hand. Yeah.
Okay.
I am proficient at sleight of hand.
what's your bonus to it?
+6.
Oh, yours is higher than mine then.
So, are you able, as a bard, do you have bardic inspiration yet?
No.
Okay, never mind. Then
Yeah, I don't think that
I
goes
would
away.
like to use the help action to try to help direct Donnie in picking the lock to try to offset any potential disadvantage.
To offset Donnie's intelligence.
That too.
Okay, so you guys are going up to the entrance?
Yes.
Okay. So you both make your way up the rickety ladder to the entrance. And Donnie goes over and pulls out a dagger, preparing to get to work on the lock, only to discover there is no lock because there is no door.
Oh,
Because the entrance is a curtain of yellowing bone threaded on copper wires.
I missed that.
I said it, and then I posted the text. I was waiting for somebody to pick up on it.
I was half asleep when that was all
Oh,
being said,
no.
to be honest.
So yeah, it's just an open door. It's just got like this curtain of um
An open
it's like a bead. It's
doorway.
like yeah, it's a bead curtain. And inside, beyond that, it's dark within. Kind of a strong odor of of like old fire, or snuffed candles, and a almost overpowering stench of sweat, and just bo, just kind of wafts out of the curtain, as you stand there, kind of like, okay, well, I got my good dagger out now, what do I do with so yeah.
Lovely.
I guess we go inside.
How large is the inside of this residence? As I use air quotes liberally.
Yeah, probably the overall size is, it's maybe like a 30 by 30-foot building.
Okay.
How do you guys feel about me staying outside just to keep an eye out?
I was actually about to say we shouldn't all go inside. Maybe about only two or three of us should.
Maybe
I am
the
small. I can fit.
Kalishtar should stay outside and notify us psionically, mentally, if they return.
Astrid and Karen can stay outside then. Donnie is gonna do whatever Donnie does anyway.
He's going in.
Yep.
Cool.
I'll follow in as well.
Okay, so Donnie, Killian, and Melody are all going.
Yes.
Okay.
At which
Uh,
point, I guess we run investigation checks.
Yep. So yeah, so you enter the building. You enter the room, and what you find is it's a single room structure that there is a well, I mean, is anybody doing like a light source or anything?
I think I actually do have light as an action. Yeah, I have a light spell that I can use.
Okay. So Melody goes over and
Oh, I
casts a
see.
light spell.
I am
Uh,
proficient with thieves' tools, but I do not have thieves' tools.
Yeah, it's the
We will
same
fix
for
that
me.
ASAP.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's something that you could have purchased in Vatheron, but
You're so right.
nobody ever listens to me. I'm used to it. It's okay.
You didn't say anything.
Oh,
Gave you plenty
Andy
of
doesn't
opportunity.
handhold.
he
like
gave
I
us
did.
plenty of opportunity.
I forgot.
I was about to say, you know what? I'm just going to go over and talk to the shopkeep. Just start up a conversation to see why we need to go shopping so badly.
So yeah, so you enter this room, and like I said, it's a structure that is roughly about like 30 by 30 foot square. It is a single room, and in one corner, and actually, Melody goes over, casts her spell, lights up the room, and in the corner of the space, you see uh, a an unmade bed of like a straw mattress on like a bed frame made of roughly hewn logs. On the other side of the room is a desk that is of decidedly better construction than the bed, with a couple of chairs in front of it and one behind it. There is a snuffed candle that is actually still slightly smoking.
Okay.
Um, like it looks like it was left to go out rather than it was blown out when somebody left. It's still slightly smoking, which is why you smelled like that smell of like a like candle. Um, and the desk is strewn with a variety of different sheets of paper with writing on it, logs, lists, etc. The chair behind the desk is very large, um, uh, upholstered in leather. It's actually probably the nicest piece of furniture in the room. Looks very comfy. Uh, and and it's like a strong contrast to the chairs that are on the other side of the desk, which, like so much in Salvation, it's like it is just the slightest touch away from just collapsing in a pile of debris on the floor. Um, there is a kind of a raggy gray colored rug that takes up the majority of the floor, and a small trap door to almost to the back of the building. Um, and let's see, I'm trying to think what else. Yeah, that's about all I can think of.
I want to look through the paperwork on the top of the desk real quick.
Okay. Okay. Um, yeah, so are you looking for something specific, or are you just
I want to look for anything that could be an indication of the arrow,
okay?
and anything else that looks like it might be of like general importance.
Okay. Roll an investigation.
Not
Okay.
bad.
You kind of go over and scan across over the contents of the paper instead across the desk there. And you don't really see anything that jumps out at you as, uh, that you can ascertain as referring to or being related to the arrow in any way. Um, you do see, mostly what you see is it looks like fairly mundane lists of inventory. Um, you see something about like the contents of a warehouse here in uh, Salvation, but you also see something about inventory in of a warehouse in Vatharond and also one in Rote. And one probably about the only thing that does kind of jump out at you as being unusual, only and it's only unusual in the manner of not being in being different from like the list that you're seeing. You see almost like a note that the person has written to themselves. Uh, and all it says is must talk to W. See if it sells.
Interesting. I think we should go ahead and search the desk as well as look at that trapdoor and search the bed. I'll direct.
Okay.
Um,
I'll check the trap door.
okay, and I'll
Donnie
direct.
can check the bed, and you
Yeah.
check the desk.
Okay.
Okay.
Unless you had a different plan in mind.
Nope, that's actually the plan I was going to suggest.
Okay.
Okay, and outside, so Astrid and Caron are outside, right?
Yes.
Okay. So Astrid outside, a little bit of movement, a little bit further up the kind of catches your eye,
Mm-hmm.
and you startle just a little bit, and you kind of like stare up the road, trying to make out what it is.
Mm-hmm.
And then after a second, you realize, oh, it's just that house elf going back inside, and you relax, but you
Okay.
keep your eyes peeled out. Okay, go back in. Okay, and what was it that you're looking for? You're searching the desk, or
Yes.
what were you doing?
He's searching the desk. I was checking out the trapdoor, I think.
Oh, the trapdoor? Okay.
Yeah.
So the trapdoor, there is, I mean, it's not locked, just got a couple of hinges. There is a metal ring that is attached to it, and you grab the ring and very easily pull up the door. And what you see is when you look down is you are looking over the mud pit that you saw from when you were outside. It's like this crater.
Mm-hmm.
And as you look down there, a very strong odor kind of hits
Mm,
you in the face.
Uh-huh.
I knew that was going to happen.
Uh, I'd like you quickly like cover your nose and drop the hatch back into place.
I was about to say, I'm just going to lower the hatch back down and look at the others and say, I bet you the arrow's down there, but good luck with that.
Yeah.
All right, and Killian, you were checking out the desk.
Yes. Do you want to let Jordan search the bed first?
Oh yeah, go right ahead.
He's not done anything for a little while.
Well, he's currently just sitting on it and checking how bouncy it is.
God.
It's not very because it is just straw. um,
Do you want me to do a? Can I do a perception check? Cause
yeah, sure.
yeah. Hey.
Um,
Cool.
yeah, you see that there's like a blanket on there that clearly has not been washed some time.
You perceive that the bed does in fact bounce,
But only slightly.
but only slightly.
Interesting.
It's like a 5 out of 10 bouncy.
All right. Anything else from Donnie?
He lays over, puts his head on. Is there a pillow?
Yeah.
He puts his head on the pillow and just kind of stares around the room from there.
Okay. Do me a favor. Roll a percentage die.
Percentage?
Yep.
Okay.
Oh my god.
Percentage.
To see what disease you contract.
Is it the one that has 00 on it?
Yes.
Yep. Yeah. Just pick that up and toss it because it used to be I think you'd had to go but now it does it on its own. Okay. Good to know. All right. So, are you done with the bed?
Yeah.
Did
Okay.
you search under the bed?
No. My perception was low. And I'm distracted by how bouncy it is.
That tracks.
Okay. And Killian, you can check the desk if you like. Okay. Yeah. So there's a series of six drawers. Three on left, three on the right, and then there's a seventh drawer right in the middle, a wider drawer. and most of the drawers, like the bottom two drawers, are both empty. The second drawer down on the left side has like ink bottles and some quills. The top drawer's got like a few sheets of parchment. On the right side, you find like a small key ring that has like a couple brass keys on it of unknown, or where they go, you have no idea. And then the middle one on the right side has uh has a small stone, maybe about the size of your palm. Um, Kind of nondescript, but it's just a stone that's in there. Really, that's about the only thing. In the center drawer, there is a thin ledger
Okay.
in there, and if you take that out and you leaf through it, you see a lot of information that's entered into the ledger, and it takes you a few minutes or a few moments to kind of going through flipping the pages, realizing that everything that's pages is is a copy, almost an identical copy of the information that you were seeing on the parchment sheets that were on the desk.
Okay.
But when you compare the two, the totals of the inventories do not match.
So the ledger and the drawer, are they higher or lower?
They are higher.
As in there are more things in the ledger?
As in what, like, so like the totals are, so it's like it's got the inventory and everything like that, and the totals, there's like a running total of like how much, like, everything in this inventory might be worth, and the what is on in the ledger, the amounts are a good deal higher than what is on the paper.
How much information is in the ledger? Like how many pages
Um,
are completed?
I mean, it's not like a super thick volume, but I mean, there's maybe, I don't know, maybe between 20 and 25 pages worth of information.
Would
I mean, it's like everything on the desk surface is not necessarily, represented in the ledger, but there's enough that you kind of ascertain that these are these are what's in the ledger is describing the same thing as what you saw being described on the papers on the desk, if that makes any sense.
would there be enough time to copy this onto like a separate piece of paper?
Uh, Probably not.
Fair. Then I will
Probably
place
not.
it back. The stone, is that something that I might have seen before?
Um,
In,
I don't know. I mean, I would probably say maybe not. I don't know if I would probably say you just make just a
Arcana?
regular intelligence check. Or you said you got Arcana?
Well, I can do it
Yeah.
untrained.
Okay. Okay. Um. Yeah, I'm gonna say that
And that would be the
some.
same as a regular intelligence check for me, by the way.
Okay. Okay. Well, yeah, I figured that without the modifier there. So, um, I would say that. Yeah, I mean it's a high enough score. I'm gonna say that it's like you recognize that you have seen stones very similar to this. usually in the possession of one of the Civis sending message stations. And you get kind of a sense that you think that this might be a sending stone.
Interesting. Is there any marking on it that says, like, that might identify who it connects to?
No.
Okay.
No, but I will say that, like, especially with that scar right there, that your knowledge and your experience with sending stones is that
Limited.
generally, well, not just that they're limited, that generally they are uh, directly connected with a matching stone. So it's not
Yeah.
like something that is just going to work for any. I'm going to call anybody. It's not a cell phone.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Port key.
So I'm going to motion to the other two. Was there anything else in the room that stood out that we might want to search?
No.
Okay. Then I'll motion to the other two and point to the door.
Okay. I'll nod and start to head out.
Donnie doesn't move. He just says, "Yep, it's a door."
I'm going to stage whisper, Donnie, let's go.
Okay.
I'm really liking Donnie.
I'm really not. He's getting on my nerves.
Yeah, you've got the perfect habit of just saying the most irritating thing.
I mean, there is a little part of Jordan in Donnie, so
That's why I made this character this
I
way.
know.
I wanted to be able to connect with him more.
My character just has this constant sense of urgency, and you are getting in the way.
Good.
Okay, so Donnie, Killian, and Melody exit the office and descend the rickety ladder to rejoin with the Astrid and Caron. What do you want to do now?
Well, I do want to try to find a place to crash for the night. We need to set up residence.
Okay.
But while we're there, I'd like to ask the innkeeper a little bit about um, Zodor.
But there was a perfectly good bed in that office.
Not yours.
Okay, well, 7 is the Salvation Hotel, so we'd be up heading off to 2nd Avenue.
I think we should cut through the 2nd and 3rd Avenue block. That way we don't happen to pass Zodor and his guards on the road.
Okay.
Because we don't know how they're going to come back. We don't know which way they're going to be, so we would have at least a 50% chance of encountering them on the road if they were walking back.
Alright. That's fine. So I guess we go to the hotel by cutting through the 3rd block.
Okay. I'm sorry.
On the way back, Donnie is just kind of slapping himself in random parts of his body.
Oh, fun.
Yay.
You having fun there, Donnie?
No,
Well, what are you doing?
I itch.
And your way of scratching yourself is to slap yourself?
Yes.
Oh
Oh.
my god. Andy.
Okay.
I know that you can't
What?
hear it, but he's currently slapping himself in real life.
I'm trying. Let me turn up the gain.
What do you? Oh God, Andy. What? What?
Ye-
What?
I,
What? All right, we're talking about it later. Okay. So where are you guys going?
the hotel?
Okay. Okay. So you're heading towards the Salvation number 7.
And we're cutting through the block that's between 2nd and 3rd Avenue on the left, so that we
You
don't.
going?
Yeah, we're
Oh,
cutting across.
Are you going up Rail Street, or are you cutting across 3rd Avenue to Main?
Neither. So we're cutting. We're. Let me draw an arrow. We're
Your
cutting
destination
across
is on the left.
like that.
Turn
Does
right
that make
onto
sense?
2nd Avenue.
Oh, so you're just cutting through all these things.
Yes.
Oh, you're going through like alleyways and shit.
Yes.
Gotcha.
So that we do not. So we have less of a chance of encountering Zodor on his
Okay.
way back from dinner.
Gotcha.
Assuming that
Well, he wouldn't know that we were in his office.
But if he's. So my thought process is, if he is shady, then he might question why there's someone walking on the street in the vicinity of his house.
Especially people he's never seen before.
Exactly.
So you begin making your way through the alleyways, heading towards the Salvation Hotel, which you passed on your way down here.
Mhm.
I want to say,
Can I do a medicine check on Donnie?
sure.
Nice.
Okay. So Donnie is continuing to kind of like slap himself, and you notice that he's scratching a lot at the back of his hand. And if you look at the back of his hand, you do notice that it's looking pretty red. But yeah, that's about it.
Okay.
Did he pick up something or get bitten by something?
I think he picked up something from the bed.
Uh-huh.
So as you are running through, kind of skirting through the alleys and everything like that, I'm gonna have everybody perception check for me.
Uh-oh.
I want to see who's got the highest. Okay. So,
I'm on
Killian,
fire tonight.
as you are getting ready to cross from the far side of the alley that is on one side of 2nd Avenue to go across behind the Salvation Hotel,
Mhm.
as everybody kind of crosses the street in front of you, out of the corner of your eye, you see movement as some people are kind of walking down the street, heading down towards actually the west, down towards
The platform.
3rd Avenue. And you stop for a second, and you actually kind of get into the alley, and then you stop and kind of peek around the side. You watch as 3 figures go by. One is kind of in front of the other 2, and looks to be a kind of a burly, hairy looking guy. And the 2 figures that are following him are built the same, maybe a little bit taller than the lead guy, but these guys are jacked. Both of them shaved heads. You can't really make out a ton of detail, um, but they are a matched set.
Twins.
Okay.
And as you see that, you kind of duck back and you rest. Wait.
And
Okay.
I'll try to signal to the rest of the team to be quiet.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, they're already like maybe about 20, 30 feet ahead of you. Because when you saw that out of the corner of your eye, you stopped around while they continued. So you
Oh,
catch up to them.
so wait, my party, like our party, is ahead of me,
Yeah,
and
yeah. Yeah, so you guys were all running this way, okay? You zipped across. Everybody's continuing to run. Out of the corner of your eye, you saw them going down this way. All right, that's where the trio was going.
Okay.
And when you saw that, you zipped to here and then turned around and peeked around this corner, looking down this way. Okay, everybody else got to right about here without you. All right, and then after you saw them go by, you joined them over here.
Okay.
So
Okay.
only Killian saw them in that moment.
Yeah, only Killian saw them. Yeah, I was going for whoever rolled the highest perception would see them.
Okay.
And I realized the rest of you guys went over pretty high in some cases. Okay.
Our arrows.
Yeah, I know. It was just a lot of clutter.
I know.
All right. So you are behind the hotel. There is a narrow alleyway side of it that you kind of to get to the hotel and make your way in to secure a room. And okay. This is not a Holiday Inn.
Uh-huh.
It's a Holiday Inn Express.
It's not
Fairfield Inn
even.
and Suites.
It's not even a La Quinta.
Marriott.
It's not a Marriott. It is not even a Motel 6. It is
It's an hotel.
It is an
you don't want to stay there.
Exactly. It is filthy, grimy, gross. There is a drunk guy that is passed out right in front of the door that you actually have to step over him to enter. There is a kind of a low desk that is just inside the door, which is manned by a woman, probably on the far side of 50, like probably pushing 60. She might even be maybe a little bit older than 60. Very stringy gray hair, very limp and kind of unwashed looking. Her clothing is just a threadbare dress that once upon a time may have been dyed pink, but is now more of a mauve color, not because it was meant to be, but just because it is so dingy dirty that it just, yeah.
Oh my god, they need a prestidigitation up in this place.
Yeah. And you go in and she looks up at you, and immediately, like, this look of suspicion kind of crosses her face. She's like, I don't recognize you lot. Who the hell are you?
We're the new salvage team.
Oh, another one for the meat grinder.
Yep.
What can I do for you? Looking for a room tonight?
We're looking for a couple of rooms.
Okay. Well, let's see. Now, there's 5 of you. Well, we don't like any of these funny business. So you girls can be in one room, and you boys can be in another. Look out for you.
Why don't we say 3 rooms?
Your coin, dearie. That'll be 5 copper each.
Some math, that's how much?
Well, that's 3 rooms. It would
like
be
a-
15.
It's like a silver and a half.
So
It says silver and 5
Is
copper.
it 5 copper each or 5 copper per room?
5 copper each.
Oh.
Oh,
So I'll go
So
ahead
25.
and put down a gold, and I'll just
Wait.
say we're gonna start a tab.
That gold barely has time to hit the top of the desk before it is scooped up. And she takes a bite out. Oh, real interesting. I think you're gonna be my new favorite customer, methinks.
Okay. That's the thing now.
Yeah. Well, you go on upstairs. You can have the first 3 rooms on the left.
Okay.
No
And
funny business. Or
no
I'll throw
funny
you
business,
down.
ma'am. While I'm at it, can you tell me
I like
anything
funny
about
business.
No, you
what is it,
don't.
salvage yard?
Salvage. I've got nothing to do with the salvage yard, boy.
Right, but seeing as you've been here for a while, I would say that you are pretty well connected and know quite a bit about everyone here. Obviously, what can you tell us about the guy that runs the salvage yard? Anything that we need to know?
I'm still wondering why you're talking about the scrapyard.
Yeah, the scrapyard.
I don't know why we're still talking about the scrapyard because I don't recall ever mentioning the scrapyard to you.
I thought you said that Zodor was the owner of the scrapyard.
Hold on 1 second. See, now I'm confused because I don't remember saying that.
Okay.
About
I
that.
might have misunderstood. If I did misunderstand and he's not, then it would be trying to get information so we can get into the good graces of the owner of the scrapyard, because that's obviously why we're here, is scrap.
Yeah,
I'm putting in my notes, Killian obsessed with scrapyard for some reason.
I could have swore you said that Zodor was in charge of the scrapyard.
now I'm going back over the stuff that she says.
You know what? I think I'm conflating broker with scrapyard.
Oh, it might be because you're also conflating salvage broker with the scrapyard.
Okay, that's what it is.
Okay.
Okay.
So the broker in the context of this right here. So like Johanna,
Mm-hmm.
she is your broker.
Okay.
She is your broker now because she's the one that has posted this job that you have taken on.
Okay.
So she is your broker. So any person that goes over a job that you then take is the broker. So he is a
Okay.
salvage broker just like anybody else in this place.
I
Okay.
understand a broker is somebody who handles trade on somebody else's behalf.
Okay. So
We
then-
need one of those YouTube clickbait thumbnails that just says scrapyard circled in red with like 50 arrows pointing at it.
Parentheses, not clickbait, but maybe parentheses.
Gone wrong?
No.
So then, instead, I will ask the question: can you tell me anything about Zodor, the broker?
So when you go over and you mention Zodor, this look crosses her face, like she looks pissed, and she's like, "Don't say that man's name to me. He is dead to me." But she just kind of spits to the side.
Oh. I would like to try to coax a story out of her with a persuasion check.
Okay.
Why do you have to laugh like that?
I'll lay on the charm real thick.
I don't know if 14 is real thick, but we'll
It might
see.
be for her. You never know.
Yeah, no, it's really not. I had a DC. So what was your question with the persuasion check?
It sounds like there's a little bit of history there. What could you tell me what happened?
Sounds like you got some juicy goss to tell on Jessica.
It's like, girl, spill the tea.
I like tea.
She
That's okay, Johnny.
she goes over and she like kind of waves her hand. She's not worth talking about, especially when it comes to that bastard. But I'm too much of a lady to ever speak about it. Now you go on. You go to bed. Go away. Go to your
Okay,
rooms.
Go on, go
I'll try again
fuck
later.
off.
Shoo!
Be gone with you.
Get out.
All right.
Go.
So she shoos you up to your rooms. So you arrive. You get upstairs, and as she 3 rooms on the left hand side, there's also another 3 rooms on the right, and then across the landing there is another smaller stairway that leads up to like another wing that has like another bunch of rooms there. I'm guessing. I don't have a map to this place, but anyway, you all 3 of you enter into all 3 rooms. How are you breaking everybody up?
Well, I
Who wants
assumed
their own room?
I
do.
assumed the third room was because Killian didn't want to be with Donnie.
Exactly.
Oh, so you're putting Donnie in his own room?
No. I footed the bill for all of the rooms, so I get my own room.
Oh, okay.
Makes sense.
Yeah, but she doesn't want men and women to be together, and I'm the only other man in the group, so I get my own room too, and then the 3 women share.
Oh, that's
This
right.
feels sexist, and I don't know why.
Don't look at me.
I guess
A room is only 5
I-
copper. If you want to go buy another one, have at it. But I am covered, and I am grateful.
I guess we're all technically covered.
Yeah.
Yeah, technically, if you
That's
3
as long
don't
as
mind
you.
sharing a room,
Well, that's as long as you want Donnie to be by himself.
everybody can sit on a circle on the floor and crochet and talk about guys.
How
Hey,
big are these
Donnie.
rooms?
Hey, Donnie.
Huh?
The back of your neck is starting to itch a bit.
Oh God!
The rooms
Yeah.
are not terribly big. Maybe only maybe like 8 by 10, an 8 by 10. We'll say 10 by 10 square foot room.
You have
Um,
a 10 by 10 square foot, and you're fitting 3 people in there. Was this like a triple bunk bed?
Pretty
there's
much.
there's 2 beds, and somebody can sleep on the floor.
Melody's gonna go request her own room. Or an
Astrid
extra room.
does not care.
So yeah, so you're going down to talk to the lady?
I don't know. Actually, I was looking it up earlier when I said that there was something I needed to look up. I can't quite tell if ASMR need to sleep at all.
They
Some say they don't, and some don't
I would
say.
I would think that would.
So I would say that unless it states something about it in their racial block on D&D Beyond, then they would.
Here's my 2 cents on the current room situation. When she looked at the 5 of us and said, "Yeah, 3 rooms," I think she assumed that the Dragonborn was going to get their own room. But like I said, Astrid does not care.
Well, she
Maybe
said
she
2
doesn't.
rooms, and I said 3.
Okay.
Because honestly, I forgot that Jared was playing a female character. So that's
I
my
mean,
bad.
I was going to say, theoretically, I could just make sure Donnie doesn't somehow strangle himself in his sleep. Because she didn't technically say that we had to be in separate rooms. She just said no funny business.
That's true.
So,
No jokes, no fun stories.
I guess there's that.
Donnie wants a bath.
So the rooms would
She
be like 2-2 and then Killian by himself.
she did
guess.
specify that we needed separate rooms, didn't she?
Yes, she did.
No.
Yes,
Did she?
did.
She
Mhm.
did.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I guess I'll just go get another room then, because I don't think the room would really be big enough for 3, especially when there's only 2 beds.
Okay, so
So, Melody, you go downstairs where you find the woman hanging a sign on the door that says no vacancy.
Well,
We got the last 3 rooms. Goody.
yep.
I think Donnie needs to sleep in the lobby.
Johnny would.
you
It's
know
so funny
what?
that you guys are like hesitating about going into these. Nobody wants to sleep in the same room as Donnie.
No.
Well, Donnie
No.
Donnie itches
Well,
so bad he can only think of a bath, so he goes to the room. He
the
goes
thing is,
to a room. He doesn't care which.
It's not one of ours.
I offered to, but I was told no.
He just walks into somebody else's room and looks for a bath.
Just into a room.
God, that's too funny. Okay, so you guys all retreat to a room. Okay, and Donnie's going off to look for a bath.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, you probably would not find it here. Would probably have to find a bathhouse.
An inn that doesn't have a bath.
Okay. Well,
We
he
are
keeps
out in the
Did you-
he
fucking
keeps checking
slums.
each room one
Did you-
by one.
Did you see the state of this hotel?
I would
Well,
rather
yeah,
not.
but like if she lives downstairs and there's rooms upstairs, there should be a bath.
Then that must mean this building has multiple floors.
So
I'm assuming
let
it
me get
does.
this straight. The hotel is not advanced enough to have baths, but they have a fucking playhouse.
Hey, I didn't.
Huh?
Because you don't need running water to have a playhouse. I mean, come on.
Okay, now I'm
You-
starting to question what kind of playhouse this is because this is essentially the Wild West.
Well, it's exactly the type of playhouse.
Wait. You don't need running water for a bath either. I'm sorry, I'm being pedantic, but
What? No. So
my
if
God.
Donnie goes downstairs and talks to the lady, she
Right.
goes over and explains that at bath, there is a room on the lower floor that has a tub that can be filled. But because it does take a bit to heat up enough water to fill a bath, it will take probably about 20 minutes, and it will cost 5 silver
I have that, so I'll.
to draw the bath for you.
Uh-huh.
Then you,
That's an expensive fucking bath.
do
it's
we?
a lot of work
Donnie-
to heat up water.
Donnie needs it.
Does anybody have a healing potion Donnie can have?
Oh, Donnie's not hurt.
He's not hurt. He's just,
I itch,
He's touched.
he's got a little bit of leprosy. It's
and
fine.
I think a hot bath would help.
All right. So while Donnie is taking his bath, everybody retreats to their rooms. Donnie, you have after 20 minutes or so, the lady tells you that your bath is ready. So you go in there. There is a bar of soap that is left on a shelf that's next to the tub. That is very grubby. Clearly been used. With strands of hair still attached to it. But you itch so much because now as you've been waiting for your bath, the itch has spread down onto your chest a little bit. Like you're just kind of sitting there, kind of scratching at your chest, scratching your arms. Your arms are starting to get very red. Little welts are forming. And when you finally get into the bath, the hot water on your arms and your skin just feels like heaven. You're like, ah. And you very carefully go over and pick the strands of hair off the soap and you just scrub yourself down. And you watch as several fleas are floating on the surface of the water.
Oh God.
Leaves?
Fleas.
Oh no.
And you just scrub and scrub and scrub and feel, relief, and your bath is over, and you're no longer itchy, and you can go to bed, without, with some relief there. So you go upstairs to a room. I don't know whose room you're sleeping in. You go up to the room and you crawl into bed with Killian. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Yeah. So you just go up to the room, whichever room that's gonna end up.
I sneak into Killian's bed. Can I make a stealth check to see if that works?
Oh, yes, please do.
Okay.
And I think you would need to do a perception check for that, Killian.
Am I asleep already?
I would guess. I mean, are you? Are you in bed?
Yeah, I'll be in bed already sleeping, so
Okay.
disadvantage.
Yeah.
Killian becomes the little spoon.
Jesus.
As Donnie drifts off to sleep. And as it is 9:00, I think we will call it there for tonight and pick this up next week. I was hoping that
love
we
how this ended.
I was hoping that we would get to, like, maybe a comment or something. But this was fun. This was fun. I
Yeah.
really enjoyed this part. And I'm really kind of getting a kick out of Donnie. I can't wait to see where he goes.
Okay, yeah.
I'm just hoping I'm a bit more awake in the next session.
No problem. So we'll pick this up next week. Remember, at 5:00,
Yes.
Yep.
and
Set
I
a
will try it.
phone alarm reminder.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Do that. Cool. And since I had really only figured that you guys would probably do the first one, I wasn't even thinking about the Silver Flame connection, and that you guys would, like, zero in on this one. I didn't pay as much attention to this one, which I feel bad about. So I will get a little bit more details going on that one, and we will take it from there next week.
Okay.
Okay.
I didn't
Good
take as
ro-
many
good roll
notes as I
protection.
really should have, I don't think.
Guys,
What?
I'm taking all the notes we need. I am being so detailed.
I mean, I have over a page from tonight, but still.
Ooh, a page. I'm up to 5 pages.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, go look at Jordan's
I looked
doc.
over
It's insane.
I looked over at the other documents and I saw that Jordan had like 5 pages. And I was like, what the fuck?
Really?
Please.
I don't.
I have
Yeah, go look.
I have like
Oh,
5
I-
lines
1,
of
2.
text, and Jordan has 5 pages of text.
That's going to be very helpful for me.
So, Jordan, the Vatheron is spelled with a V like Victor at the beginning. Just so you know.
How did I spell it?
With a
With a
B
B.
like Bravo.
Not really your fault. It's probably my fault because I got a really bad speech impediment.
It's just the country that takes a lot of pride in bathing.
Unlike Zorro.
Where
Zorod?
is it?
Zoron? Zordon?
This
Zodor.
whole-
Zodor. That's his name.
Yeah.
I got there eventually.
Oh, there it is. Okay, Vatheron.
I bet y'all
Like that?
can't wait until I start drinking during a session.
Ooh.
I'll join you.
I'll join you.
I won't.
No, you can't.
I don't like the taste of alcohol.
You remember how shit went down when I was DMing and had been drinking, and it was not the greatest time for y'all.
Oh, believe me, I know. It's like, it's
Alright.
exactly why it's like I like have made a vow not to
Toke.
toot while I run this, because I will fuck it up so bad. So.
Fuck it up.
Well,
fuck,
hopefully we're not
fuck,
streaming
fuck,
it.
I'm going
fuck,
to lie
fuck it up.
down.
All
Good
right.
night,